Welcome. All right. It's time for us to prepare. Welcome one and all. Share the live. We are going to get started shortly. Lawfully. Ego King. Lawful. Always. Running a little bit late. TikTok police, lawful, always, raw. Lawful, always. Welcome one and all. We're gonna get started shortly. We know so we're gonna have people trickling in over time. So we're going to get started in just a bit. You know, this has been a long time coming. Like I've said before, it takes pain to bring people together in this time. And that is something that we all must work together to change. It doesn't make sense to wait until it is so painful to live, it is so painful to exist, that it is mandatory that we come together to make a change. That means that you are now acting out of desperation. You're acting out of necessity. And there is always advantages, but also you're going to have big disadvantages when you do not have the time to formulate properly, to get your ideas together, and to agree before you move. That is the whole point of having a community. You don't wait until everybody affected. Then you run around without like a chicken without a head. It don't make sense. And as we can see now, people are suffering as a result of not having an actual community. People don't realize what a community is, you know. It is not people with they around you, and the people will live close to you, and the people will live in the same area. That is not a community. For these, lawful, always. A community is not necessarily a physical place. We're going to get a little bit deep today. But more importantly, we're going to start with solutions. We don't come here for just talk. The point of teaching is action. It is not to have discussions further on down the line. It is primarily to facilitate the necessary mental capacity to take action. And when we talk about solutions, as you can see on my page, and if you are a signatory and you've ever been to class, you know the caliber of information we discuss. You know the caliber of work that we put in. So, you already know, but for those on the outside who are not signatories, for those on the outside who are wondering, how do we make a change? How do we do this? How do we do that? Why the government do this? Why we don't have that? It is because people just wait for somebody to do something. That is one of the major downfalls around the world. People are waiting for other people to do things. And if we are going to sit down and wait for other people to do things, that means that we're at the mercy of someone else's action. Right? And we need to cut that out. If we create solutions, we cannot depend on other people. We're going to have to do things on our own. See? So that is what we're going to be discussing today. What can we do, whether as a collective or as individuals, and how we can effectively demand restitution. Okay? So we're at 6:13 right now. Excuse me. A little bit under the weather, but we're gonna get started shortly. So we're gonna talk about the law. We're gonna talk about what has been said and done so far. And then we're going to talk about the solution. What do we do from this point going forward? What can we do? And like I said before, nothing I am teaching is new under the sun. It is just that maybe you were not aware of what these things are. You were not aware that these things exist because, unfortunately, the law in Jamaica is segregated. It is few and far in between. In order for you to even get remedy in some areas in the law, you have to know multiple legislations. to bring them up in your claim. But the point is that the remedy is there. It is not hidden. It is just that it is difficult to put it together. But the remedy is there. Okay? Now, like I said before, I've been a little bit disturbed with the fact that we're more than a month in now. Or close to a month. When was it? It was... So 1 day from a month, just about, call it say a month ago, we had Hurricane Melissa. And from what I've been hearing within the government structure, none of the money that is available has been spent yet. Not $1. So not only do we have the money from at least 10 different countries, not only do we have the money from the catastrophe bond that paid out, the insurance policy that paid out in the millions, right? Was it 100 million or 150 million? One of them. Not only do we have physical food and aid, right? Yeah, I see that they were surprised when the when the lady uttered it. You know, it was a surprise on the faces, right? And all of these resources, when I talk about Jamaica yet, you know, we are talking about external support that has come into Jamaica's fund. We have gotten aid, so much aid, that the international community or the international media is now questioning, where is this aid? Because you have people on the ground in Jamaica, and you have people who are actually going around with some of the people them, delivering local aid, right? The locals are helping the locals, but the government cannot be found in most areas. And the places where the government can be found, they are not that much affected. So now, people are skeptical about, where is this aid going? Is it being stored? Is it being siphoned off? Is it being strategically planned out, even after a month? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it because, according to the government, supplies were given out to meet a 5-member family, and it can only last about 3 days. So the rest of the day, they are going to starve, basically. And there is no planned rotation schedule. There is no public information where people can look and see, well, and say, yes, I'm in this area and they did come. Yes, I am in this area, and yes, we did get some aid on Monday. Now it is Saturday, we haven't seen anybody else. There is no public report about any of that. We're going to get into it because I talk about this during the election as well. Let me also mention something. I said this before, Jamaica is not a poor country. And Jamaicans no fool. As much as some people will say Jamaicans are not stable to be voting and doing this and doing that, you have to realize more than half of Jamaica did not vote. And you have to realize Jamaicans are highly educated. Whether you want to talk about institutionalized education or you're talking about third-party education where people go out there and find their own way. If you hear people in Jamaica talk, don't look on the dressing, don't look on the outer appearance. If you hear Jamaicans talk, when they are talking about a subject and they know what they're talking about, there is no way you can say majority of Jamaica fool. Yes, there is a big uneducated gap when we talk about speaking properly and sometimes knowing current events, knowing for yourself rather than I hear it from social media and all them, something there. But by and large, if you even see Jamaicans around the world, I guarantee you, Jamaicans outpace almost everybody. It's not just sports, it's not just music. It is science, it is education, it is wellness, it is even inventions. When was the last time you even look up to see how many Jamaicans contributed to world inventions? Anyways, what we're going to talk about today, specifically, is what can we do about the devastation that Melissa caused? And can we do it right now? Right? But before we do that, we have to come full circle. We have to know what we're saying lawfully. We can't just go out there on a settings because we know people love take a little piece of information and run with it. And we're not going to do that today. Zin? So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a couple of things. So let me get this out of the way and we are going to take a look at what lawful solutions are out there. See? Okay, so let's change this to 14 and let us pull up our constitution. Our first document on the list is our constitution because we have to know what we're talking about. We have to know where in the law to locate it and how we can effectively use the law in the proper manner. And I said this before and I'll say it again. Those who do not know the law will suffer at the hands of those who know the law. And that is why I am teaching this today, so that you realize that you are suffering as a result of a lack of knowledge. Okay? All right, so previously on one of my lives, I mentioned to some of you something called the Consolidated Fund, right? And today we're going to take a look at something. We're going to take a look at chapter 8 of the Constitution. Order in Council 1962. Okay? Well, we got 100 votes, you know. So it is the people who want to know, and therefore the people are going to get the information today. So, This is what your MPs and your local representatives are supposed to be using as a catalyst to go to the government and petition on your behalf. And they are lacking. So, Chapter 8 of the Constitution, Order in Council 1962, talks about finance. Okay? Now remember, the Constitution is the highest law in the land. Again, the Constitution is the highest law in the land. The highest court in the land is where? England. So, if you have the highest law in the land, why would you look anywhere else when you talk about how the government is run? The government is going to run from the highest law in the land. Right? So, in the Constitution, Chapter 8, which is titled Finance, you have Section 114 or 114, which talks about the Consolidated Fund. The Consolidated Fund section says there shall be in and for Jamaica a consolidated fund into which, subject to the provisions of any law for the time being in force in Jamaica, shall be paid all revenues of Jamaica. What does that mean? What does this mean? It means any so-called money where Jamaica make or receive as a government goes into this fund. But what does consolidated fund mean? It means that the government is going to be run from several accounts. The government is going to be run from several accounts at a central bank. This is where our first problem lies. There is no transparency to the public. And I talked about this before. Today I'm going to go a little deeper. How many people here on the live can say for sure how much money the Jamaica government have? How much money is in the consolidated fund? How much money does Jamaica actually have in their accounts? Or in the government's consolidated accounts? Has anybody seen a figure? I'm not talking about reports. I'm not talking about summaries. I'm not talking about any kind of third-party information. I'm talking about direct. That what they can say, look at these accounts. This is what the government has, and this is what the government is going to use in the public's interest. All right. So there is a consolidated fund, but it does not mention any kind of transparency when it comes to the fund. But all we know is that every money is supposed to go to the government of Jamaica. This is where it goes because it is a matter of law. Right? And we all know that Jamaica, or the government of Jamaica, has overseers. The Jamaican government has checks and balances, not within Jamaica, but outside. You have the IMF and you have England. You also have third parties like America. Okay? And we're going to get into some of that. Estimates. The minister responsible for finance. So here we have the first individual pointed out who has direct access or some insight into the finances of Jamaica. The minister responsible for finance before the end of each financial year caused to be prepared annual estimates of revenue and expenditure for public services during the succeeding financial year, which shall be laid before the House of Representatives. So you notice, it says nothing about the people, it said nothing about the public, it said nothing about anybody outside of government. So any information that even this minister responsible for finance has, he's making a report. He's making estimates. These are not actual numbers. They are making estimates. So there is no accountability when we talk about how this thing is being run. But we're going to talk about that. Number 2, 15.2. The estimates of expenditure shall show separately the sums required to meet the statutory expenditure as defined in subsection 4 of section 116 of this constitution, and the sums required to meet other expenditures proposed to be paid out of the consolidated fund. So all that is being done is creating like a budget to say this is what's going to be required in the upcoming year. This is what was required in the last year. These are estimates. No physical numbers are being disclosed. 116, authorization of expenditure. For those latecomers, we're in the Constitution, Order and Council 1962. This is section 116, authorization of expenditure. The minister responsible for finance shall, in respect of each financial year, at the earliest convenient moment, introduce in the House of Representatives an appropriation bill containing under appropriation heads for the several services required and estimated aggregate sums which are proposed to be expended otherwise than by way of statutory expenditure during the financial year. Estimated. Estimates. Coming up with numbers. Whenever any monies are expended or are likely to be expended in any financial year on any services which are in excess of the sum provided for that service by the appropriation law related to that year, or any monies are expended or are likely to be expended, bring this over so all the way I see what we are saying, otherwise than by way of statutory expenditure in any financial year upon any new service not provided for by the appropriation law related to that year. Statements of excess, or as the case may be, supplementary estimates shall be prepared by the minister responsible for finance and shall be laid before and voted on by the House of Representatives. In respect of all supplementary expenditures so voted, the minister responsible for finance may at any time before the end of the financial year introduce into the House of... So, as you can see, people, as you can see, the government of business, the business of government remains inside of Parliament and the House of Representatives. None of it is required to be shown to the public or to be disclosed to the public by law. But the question is, why or why not? Right? Because if they are telling us that this is there, if they are telling us that this is what they are doing, then what good does it do the people if we cannot verify what they are doing? The law itself says all they have to do is give an estimate of what they are doing. It did not say public disclosure is required. It did not say accounting transparency is required. It did not say a third party outside of the government must do a financial accounting of what has taken place and see if there is corruption. None of it is there. 3, that part of any estimate of expenditure laid before the House of Representatives which shows statutory expenditure shall not be voted on by the House of Representatives and such expenditure shall, without further authority of Parliament, be paid out of the consolidated fund. So once the estimate of expenditure is laid out in front of the House, nobody can vote on it. It have to pay out right away. Meaning, any contractor, subcontractor, any service member, any partners, any service company or individual who is working with the government has to be paid right away. You can't go vote on any kind of estimate after the work has been done. After the contract them sign, all of them something there. It has to be paid out right away. For the purposes of this section and section 115 of this constitution, statutory expenditure means expenditure charged on the consolidated fund or on the general revenues and assets of Jamaica by virtue of any of the provisions of the constitution or by virtue of the provisions of any other law for the time being in force, and the interest on the public debt, sinking fund payments, redemption monies, and the costs, charges, and expenses incidental to the management of the public debt. So again, this here is telling you that whenever there are services being provided for the government of Jamaica, it is being paid out of the consolidated fund. Now, one thing I have not heard anyone talk about in the media, in the government, or anywhere else is what are the sources, what are the current sources of funding that comes into the consolidated fund? Somebody say, how long now since that been amended, or it's from them time there? So this has been there from the beginning. I don't think this part has been amended, but there has been several amendments. Actually, about 3 amendments. The last one I think was in 2011. They tried to amend the constitution. Okay. Now we don't know, apart from taxes, apart from tickets and them something there that is supposed to be, I guess you can say, paid into the consolidated fund. We don't know how much is in the consolidated fund. We don't know how the monies are being used and expended. All we get are estimates. We get reports. We get summaries. We get... And as a matter of fact, if you check any government agency website, you almost never get any current information. If you go to the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, the data that they provide is typically 2, 3, or even more years old. No current information on population, on any of the statistics. And sometimes even when you contact them, they will not provide you with current data. Anyways, so we have this consolidated fund here, right? And it says any expenses that the government incur should be paid out of the consolidated fund, don't? And here that I said there is meeting expenditure from the consolidated fund. So this is basically going and explaining again that the minister responsible for finance has the authority to allow expenditure from the consolidated fund right away by a warrant or by signing something under his seal, etc., etc. So when we talk about the fact that we have an emergency, right? A national emergency. How many times have you seen the members of government come on TV or in the media and say we are going through a public emergency? You notice they have not been mentioning the word public emergency. That is very disturbing, because it is as if they are treating it as an everyday kind of normalized thing. It's like there is no urgency to resolve this disaster. Every time you hear about planning, you hear say them a plan, they got this in place, they have to now figure out this, they have to go figure out that. Let me ask you a question now. For the people them who don't even travel, right? Or you don't travel that much. Isn't Jamaica under a yearly hurricane watch? I can't remember a year when Jamaica didn't have some kind of storm in the Caribbean coming. So if that is the case, you want to tell me, say, from, all right, the first hurricane I can remember is Gilbert. You want to tell me, say, from Gilbert time, come to 2025, from 1988 and 89. You want to tell me, say, from 89 to 2025, Jamaica still not prepared for hurricane yet? On a governmental level? Somebody tell me if that makes sense to you. More than 30 years, and the government is still not prepared for hurricane disasters. So when am I going to prepare? When is it going to be taken as a priority? If you say, well, you know, so this has been happening for a long time. So why don't we have public shelters being built instead of prisons? Why don't we have certain security measures in place so that if and when a hurricane is coming, we have proper structures that will not collapse, that the roofs will not fly off, that will be intact, that will be sturdy, that will be secure for people to go to these places. So if houses are fly away, if places are get flooded, if whatever the case may be is happening, isn't the people supposed to be secure first? You know, business about possessions. When a business about possessions can always be replaced. The point of the government is to save lives. So if you are in Jamaica, and every single year we know, say, you have hurricane watch, you have hurricane season. As a matter of fact, there is a hurricane season in Jamaica, right? Right after summer, coming down to the end of the year, you have hurricane season. So, what are they in Parliament doing? What are they doing? Somebody say, what was the US ready for Katrina? Let me ask you a question. What happened after Katrina? How long did it take the federal government to go into Katrina and start doing things so that Katrina could get back to normalcy? Did it take them a month? Anyways, we're talking about Jamaica now, because we can beat the arse to death. But let's talk about Jamaica. We have hurricane every single year. There is no reason whatsoever for the government not to be planning for hurricane season every single year. So if there comes a time where we have devastation coming to Jamaica, at least public shelter should be prepared. We're not talking about food and water yet, you know. Public shelter should be available for people who don't have proper housing. Okay? Now, we have the consolidated fund. How many times have you heard the government talk about the consolidated fund? For those of you who have been following the media, How many people? Because I am going to bring up something that you might not be aware of. Skeleton Dan, lawful, up, welcome, welcome. The consolidated fund is the primary source of government expenditure, revenues. So all the money coming in is supposed to go in there, except for any other law that diverts some funds to some other emergency area that the government deemed necessary. Right? And all of the expenditures where the government see that services are needed are supposed to be paid out of the consolidated fund. Now let me ask you a question now. For those of you who might be familiar with the Constitution, is there anywhere in the Constitution that says that the government can take loans from the consolidated fund? Is there anything in there that says the government can loan out money? Is there anything in the Constitution that says the government can loan people resources to pay back the government? Remember, you know, the government operates from the highest law in the land. So, if the government is using fiwe money, fiwe taxes, fiwe money what we pay in a fees, fiwe money what we pay in all kinds of other things that the government come up with, they call them schemes, government schemes, where the government is taking more money from the people and putting into this fund, right? So this is our money. None of the funds say the government owns the fund. The government does not own the fund. Jamaica government has a fiduciary relationship with the people. The government is simply managing the consolidated fund and the relationships international regarding trade and commerce. That's all the government is doing. And that's all the government is mandated to do. Manage the finances of the country and keep the country safe. NHT is a government institution, yes. But the question is it mandated by law? Is it something that is authorized by law? Is it morally, lawfully a required institution? There is an act that was passed called the FAA. Right? We're going to bring this up. There is an act called the FAA, the Financial Administration and Audit Act. Right? I'm going to show you something. For those of you who might not be aware of this act. I'm going to show you a section here. Before we even go to that. Gotta make sure we remain lawful. See if we can just search for it. Should I bring this up before we get started, you know? Hold on there. All right, so here we have something called a contingencies fund, right? Of the FAA Act. So under section 4.4, other funds, apart from the consolidated fund that was authorized by the Constitution, Order in Council 1962, there is another fund created called the contingencies fund. And it says, the accountant general shall make advances from the contingencies fund subject to the approval of the Ministry of Finance and shall recover such advances from warrant funds as soon as possible. You see how vague it is? No specificity regarding what exactly this fund is supposed to be used for. It just says the accountant general should make advances from the fund. Right? Trust funds. An accounting officer shall be responsible for the proper management of any trust fund administered by his department. What does that mean? The government is creating trust funds or trust accounts, and they are managing them under the accountant general, an accounting officer. 442 part 2. Trust funds must be administered in accordance with the terms and conditions outlined in the trust deed or any agreement or contract or law that establishes the fund. Where a trust fund has no provision or inadequate provision for its administration, the financial secretary shall designate an accountable officer responsible for the administration of such trust fund. B. Establish systems and procedures for the administration, accounting, and reporting of such trust funds. Now, many of you may not even be aware of what a trust fund is, what is trust law, why they would create trusts and funds and different things all over the place, and it is here in law. Right? This is not something that somebody will tell us, so the government, them have this in a trust and they have that in a trust and this and that. It is literally here in law. It is out there and you don't have access to it. You don't have access to any information related to it, and you will never be able to see the financing. Why? Because the law does not mandate it. The law does not say that it shall be transparent, where if the people require it, all information regarding these accounts must be made available. Nothing in any of these laws state that the public has access to any information regarding the finances of Jamaica. None of them. If I am wrong, correct me in the comment section. Like I say all the time, I am a student as well, so don't think I know everything. But as far as I have read and seen, none of the laws that are in Jamaica allow for accountability when it comes to finances. All of the investigatory agencies are also a part of the government, which is a conflict of interest. When they talk about audits going on, when I talk about investigations going on, All of these agencies are a part of the government. So therefore, corruption is always a concern. I am not saying that corruption is going on. I am not blaming anyone. You come to your own conclusion. But my thing is, if you're going to rely upon somebody's word, and we know say people tell lie all the time. And if you are going to rely on the word of a stranger that you don't know, how is that going to make sense? It's almost like somebody have one wall in front of you and they might tell you, guess what is behind the wall. What chance do you have of guessing what is behind the wall? You don't even know the subject matter. We're not going to get stuck on that. Okay? The point is, there is a contingencies fund that the accountant general can authorize funds to be made advanced for contingencies. Isn't a hurricane a contingency? A hurricane is not an everyday thing. Disaster is not a hurricane thing. Disaster is not a everyday thing. And every day we have earthquake and hurricane and natural disasters wiping out the country or wiping out parts of the country. This is not a normalcy. We literally have people that were unalived as a result of this natural or so-called natural disaster. I'm not going to get into that. However, the point is, there is a fund available where the government can use these funds right now to provide disaster relief. And let us be clear when I say disaster relief. This is not no care packages. The government can literally build a house for everybody in Jamaica. The fund that is there can build a house for everybody in Jamaica. We're not talking about a mansion. The fund that is there can build a house for every family in Jamaica. Me now ask. This is not a question. First and foremost, the government is not supposed to be giving the people loans. It is the people's own money. How can you be borrowing from your own? Imagine you have a bank account and the bank tells you have to take a loan from your bank account in order to use the money. Remember, every 4 or 5 years, however way you want to calculate it, every 5 years what? The government is dissolved. That is why you have elections. So the government itself cannot own anything. The government cannot own the consolidated fund. They are simply managers. They are simply managers of the fund. So the point here is the consolidated fund and the contingencies fund are two funds that are there that the government has admitted that they have not done any spending in the past 30 days. For those of you who are not aware, no spending from the government has occurred in the past 30 days. Nothing from the donations that came in, monetary. Much of the food and them something that were coming, they are still planning on how they are going to distribute them something there. Them a talk about them a help clear roads. Anyways, we're not here to talk about problems. We're not here to talk about problems. Let us talk about solutions. The point I am making here is, it is written in law where these funds exist, and the government has refused to take emergency action. As a matter of fact, I personally have not seen or heard declarations made that Jamaica is in a state of emergency. I have not heard that. Even, you see, like how them can say state of emergency when it comes to crime, it is now a matter of life and death in the western part of Jamaica. And I have not heard the government come forth and say The western part of Jamaica is in a state of emergency, and emergency measures are going to be taken right away. I have not heard that or seen that. Okay? So, we have the consolidated fund. We have the contingencies fund. We have other funds that are there, trust funds that we have no knowledge of what exactly they are doing. So there are many funds created by law where we don't know what exactly they are, what they are doing, what is in them, and how it is benefiting the people. Right? So the question now comes into play. What exactly can we do? What exactly can we do if all we know is that the consolidated fund is there? What can we do if all we know is that the government is supposed to be taking action when there is emergencies, when there is disaster? A matter of fact, the Governor General, and of course on every live you have one or two or many individuals trying to report the live. I don't know for what. But they don't want you to learn these things. So you see, every time they try to report the live, I'm just going to give you more information. A matter of fact, I was going to just tell you what we all can do individually. But what I am going to do now, I am going to release the documents. I'm going to release the documents, so whether one somebody or 10 somebody or an organization want to go ahead and use this method, you can go ahead and use it. Since you don't want report the live for foolishness, let us get into solution mode. Because just in case they have enough people reporting this live, TikTok can actually shut it down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into solution mode. Give another full 100 pound this thing. 1 second. This is the Constitution, section 19. Section 19. Application for redress. Remember, I told you the government operates from the highest law in the land, which is the Constitution, Order, and Council 1962. Under section 19.1, it says, if any person, what does this mean? Did I teach you this long time? The Constitution does not apply to every person in Jamaica. You have a claim for yourself. Okay? If any person alleges that any of the provisions of this chapter has been, is being, or is likely to be contravened in relation to him, so this have to relate to you, then without prejudice to any other action with respect to the same matter which is lawfully available, that person may apply to the Supreme Court for redress. What does this all mean? Right? Make we break it down from legalese down to plain language. This means if you feel like the government is not doing what it's supposed to do according to the law, which is, number one, the consolidated fund is there to restore Jamaica 100%. It never say the government must sit down about them a plan. It never said the government supposed to lend nobody no money. It never said the government supposed to go out there and talk about them and give care packages. That is nonsense. It is supposed to be a restoration of the people, a restoration of the living conditions and the lives of the people. Okay? That's why the fund is there, for the benefit of the people of so-called Jamaica. So if we now use the fund for the benefit of the people, that means the fund is being misused. Okay? So you can make an application to the Supreme Court of Jamaica, and we're going to talk about that just now. Okay? Right away. A matter of fact, tomorrow or Monday, you can go down to the Supreme Court and make the application. You don't need to be going through the normal process. This would be a motion to the Supreme Court because of the emergency that is currently there. Number 2, 19.2. Any person authorized by law or with the leave of court, a public or civic organization may initiate an application to the Supreme Court on behalf of persons who are entitled to apply under Section 1 for a declaration that any legislative, executive act contravenes the provisions of this chapter. Okay? So, that means if there's an organization or if there's an individual, you can make an application to the Supreme Court to demand that the government fix the current situation. If you have any kind of family member that is affected, again, it has to be in relation to you. It specifically says this. So if you have family in a Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, any of those places that are affected, you can make a direct application to the Supreme Court of Jamaica. It is an emergency motion. Okay? And we're going to get into that shortly. I'm just showing you that the law is there. The mandate is there. That anything that is in contravention with the supreme law of the land, you can go directly to the Supreme Court and demand that the law be adhered to. Okay? So it is Section 19 of the Constitution that allows you to go directly to the Supreme Court and not go through the bag of bureaucratic nonsense to get remedy. What does this mean? Let me pull up this so that we talk lawfully. I'm going to modify this document and make it available to everybody. I'm going to make it a template where it does not require much editing. Okay? So, you simply put in your name up here, so, and you are filing a motion or pretty much a claim against the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance and Public Service, the Attorney General of Jamaica. Yes, this is a suit. Okay? This is a constitutional claim form, or a constitutional claim. You state the jurisdiction, right? The Supreme Court has full jurisdiction to grant declarations, issue mandatory orders, enforce statutory duties, provide structural relief, and award constitutional compensation. Okay? Let us get down to the meat and potatoes. Facts giving rise to the claim. Hurricane Melissa caused catastrophic devastation across Western Jamaica on or about October 28, 2025, resulting in widespread homelessness, infrastructure collapse, and severe humanitarian need. More than 1 month has passed and the government has not authorized any substantial disaster recovery expenditure from the Consolidated Fund or the Contingencies Fund. Relief provided by the government agencies has been minimal, typically consisting only of limited food and water for 3 out of the 7 days with no consistent supply chain or public health support. Thousands of residents, including the applicant, remain without shelter, sleeping in unsafe and exposed conditions, without adequate sanitation, without consistent food or potable water, and without meaningful reconstruction assistance. The government literally said they're going to buy 5,000 units of housing and they are going to provide loans to people who have no housing, no shelter, no nothing. Despite this, the government announced that it will purchase over 5,000 prefab houses through the NHT, not for free distribution to affected families, but to sell back to the people. including disaster victims who have lost everything. Numerous reports indicate that donated humanitarian aid from international partners is being warehoused, distributed slowly, or withheld from the people with greatest need. The Jamaica Custom announced disaster relief import exemptions only until December 31st, 2025, an unreasonably short period for families and diaspora supporters attempting to ship aid given logistical constraints. The government's failure to activate statutory emergency powers has resulted in ongoing suffering, risk of disease, preventable harm, worsening damage to recoverable property, and human degradation. These are crimes against humanity. Constitutional protections contravened. The applicant alleges that the government's omission constitute past, ongoing, and likely future contraventions of the protections recognized under 1. Protection of life, Section 13.3a. Failure to provide timely food, water, shelter, and medical support endangers lives of disaster victims. 2. Protection from inhumane and degrading treatment, Section 13.3r. Prolonged exposure to unsafe living conditions while the state possesses both funds and statutory authority to act amounts to inhumane treatment. 3. Protection of property, Section 13.3j. Ongoing deterioration of homes and belongings due to the government's inaction breaches property protections. The government is literally supposed to protect people, not to sit down and look and wait. 4. Protection of the right to receive information, Section 13.3c. The government has failed to provide sufficient transparency regarding aid allocations, treasury warrants, consolidated fund expenditures, relief distribution plans, and utilization of donated resources. 5. Administrative justice, implied constitutional principle. The state must act rationally, proportionately, and in accordance with the statutory duties. Failure to deploy emergency funds is an irrational and unreasonable omission, contrary to good governance principles. What is the point of government? Is it not for the protection of the people? Is it not for the order and good government of Jamaica? And how do we have good government? The purpose of the government is the will of the people. The respondents have failed to exercise emergency powers under the FAA Act specifically. Now, these sections are going to be modified properly. I think it's section, where we have? Section 441. Section 441 establishes the Consolidated Fund for Urgent and Unforeseen Expenditures. This section authorizes the Minister of Finance to make immediate advances for emergencies. This section requires replenishment through supplementary estimates. The government's refusal or failure to activate these provisions constitutes statutory dereliction of duty. What does this mean? You have the power, you see the devastation, and you fail to act. F. Relief sought. The applicant respectfully seeks the following. 1. Declarations. A declaration that the respondent's failure to release disaster relief and reconstruction funds constitutes a violation of the protections recognized under Section 13.3a, 13.3j, 13.3r, and 13.3c. A declaration that the respondent's failure to activate the emergency financial provisions of the FAA Act is irrational, unreasonable, disproportionate, and contrary to their statutory duties. C. A declaration that warehousing or inadequate deployment of donated humanitarian aid constitutes protections, violates constitutional protections of humane treatment. Mandatory orders we're requesting from the court. An order compelling the Minister of Finance to immediately activate the contingencies fund under the FAA Act. B. An order compelling the issuance of treasury warrants under Section 117 of the Constitution for immediate disaster relief expenditure. C. An order requiring the government to provide adequate food, water, shelter, sanitation, and medical support. Deploy stored humanitarian aid immediately. Publish disaster relief distribution schedules and expenditure summaries. D. An order requiring the government to provide temporary shelter to all displaced residents at no cost. 3. Structural supervision. An order requiring the respondents to provide weekly reports to the court detailing all funds released, all aid distributed, all reconstruction efforts undertaken, and all NHT-related disaster housing decisions. An order requiring the government to create a transparent public disaster relief ledger showing expenditures from the Consolidated Fund and Contingencies Fund specific to Hurricane Melissa. Compensation. Constitutional damages to be assessed for preventable suffering, worsening property loss, psychological distress, inhumane living conditions, deprivation of essential needs. Urgency. Given the ongoing humanitarian crisis and state of continued failure to act, the applicant requests that this matter be treated as urgent under the Supreme Court constitutional relief rules. And here you have a verification and the exhibits we're going to modify, right? This is a motion to the Supreme Court. This is not going to take 90 days, 120 days, 180 days, 365 days. A motion of this caliber, when each individual, if you're not serious about taking action, if you go down to the court and you submit this document, it is going to be treated with urgency. It is going to be treated with urgency, especially if you have 100 or more people to submit these documents. I said the government must act now. We are demanding that the government act now. This is not a joke thing, people. This is something where you can do right now. Because them today report the live, I am going to make it available on voiceofjamaica.com. It not going on no menu. It will go there right on the front page. As soon as I'm done with this live, I'm going to make sure this live is downloaded and made available publicly. You don't have to log in or become a signatory or nothing like that. It is going to be available on the front page of voiceofjamaica.com. This is disturbing to have a government that talk about politics and planning and them sit down there talk and them not do nothing. If I never for the people on the ground, me talk to you now. If I never for the people them on the ground, where I take donations from one place to the next, if I never people, local people that donate, for say, yo, I want to see my fellow Jamaicans them just get along, survive, get food and get water, clear the road them so people can pass, we go help other people. If I never feel, again, me not really want to name names, but such and such homestead. You have Little Fire Marvin. You have the entertainers them. You have all kind of people you see, except for the government. I am not saying the government has not done anything. That's not what I am saying. What I am saying is, you see more local Jamaican people when they have no business, them not have no mandate, them not have no form of requirement to go out there and help other people. And at them you see, day to day, you see local Jamaicans that go out there and help people, care food, care water, and make up them own care packages. And the government a come on TV attack bag of things. Them a plan. Them not ready to do this with the money yet. Them have to make sure say this. A matter of fact, you have food, shelter, you have temporary housing, like tarpaulin, you have pop-up housing, you have all kind of different things coming from Japan, China, you have things that come from Europe. The amount of plane load of things we are coming, right? And me not see none of them. Me not see none of them be deployed. And if the government was doing these things, they would have quickly put it on the news. They would have quickly put it on some website. They would have said, see what we are doing, see what we are doing. We don't see none of that. You have people coming in from international locations, coming and making up emergency little hospitals, giving out medical aid. You know, some people, them need medication or whatever the case may be, and they can't get to. Some of them never have no house. Some of them don't have nothing at all. And the people, them slowly are pass on to the next stage of life. And the government is still talking about planning and what they are going to do. After a full 30 days, you are still planning? Like I said, people, I never gonna respond to some of the comments them. We are talking about government can't do it alone. You know, there's a lot of things to consider, this and that. I'm not going to respond to that because we don't realize how much the government has in their control, how much the government has at their fingertips. And we're still talking about planning. Okay? The time for talking done. A matter of fact, after a week, after 2 weeks, the time for planning done. There are some places, literally, where the people them live, landslide, take away everything. Some places, I have seen a house where the water, they so, just the roof you see. Just the roof you see. Planning stage done. If me donate something, you think you tell me about how you're going to distribute it? Jamaican people are proud people. You think people who don't need something is going to go there and say, yo, me I go just take up them something and just go covet them? You know what the people have pride of Jamaica? Anyways. Kerfoofle, I don't know what that name is, says, what have you done to help? I have done much to help, but that is none of your business. I have my assistance that I have given, but I am not on the ground right now. What have you done to help? I have been teaching, I have been giving out information, and I have been making sure that over the years to come, what I give to the people, nobody can take it away. Once you learn, you cannot unlearn. So check out my page and find out what I have been doing. Go and check out my videos. Go up here, so. And go to my profile and see what I have been doing. Good. I'm glad you've been donating. Post it on your page. Post it on your page and bring awareness to it. But this is not the time to talk about what you have been doing and what you have done and whatever. The point I am making here is we have the capability of restoring Jamaica right now, and it is not being done. That is the point of this live. That is the point of this live. It is not all of us to sit down there and talk about, say, we are going to try and rebuild Jamaica. That is not our job. That is the job of the government. The rebuilding, the recovery, the making sure that disease don't spread, making sure that all the resources available, all of the departments that are necessary, you know, where they have personnel, they have expertise, they have all the different people that have been procured to restore Jamaica. And them still talk about planning. That is what I am talking about. Yes, we all should be, you know, if we can help each other minimally. But the government has the fund and the money and the resources and the people and the equipment and all of the resources necessary to restore Jamaica to a livable state, to stop people from dying. That is the point of this. This is not talking about, oh, you can go, you can give food and you can give one power bank. That don't make no sense. Long term, that is not sustainable. What are you going to do? Keep on work and mind somebody else? You need people to get back on their feet so they can fend for themselves. That's the point of this. This is not for you to continue keep on. Yeah, man, see little bit here. See one two bag of flour here, one 20 pound bag of rice here. See one bag of sugar here. That don't make no sense, brethren. People for themselves. Anyways. The document is going to be available on voiceofjamaica.com. For those of you who are ready to take action, we're just going to block out the noise. Those of you who are ready to take action, the document is going to be on the front of Voice of Jamaica within the hour. When this live is available, I will get the live and I will repost it on the front page as well. So those of you who did not get to make the live, you can go back and rewatch the live from the replay. Okay? Now, for those of you who have questions, for those of you who want to know what else you can do beyond this, right? We can have a conversation either in the DM, you can get on Telegram, or you can send a message through the website, voiceofjamaica.com. All right? So, I'm going to open up the panel so that we can have a few questions. We can talk about a few things. So if you want to come up, you can make a request. All right, I don't want to bring up everybody all at once. So we're going to do one at a time. Tolerance.
Manners.
Manners and respect. Lawful.
Yeah, man. Everything you say, everything you utter to the people, them, is on point. If you don't believe you, just check what the man say. Check what the man is saying. However, when the government receives $12.8 billion every quarter, $12.8 billion every quarter from a trust. A part of that trust is the overall welfare of contributors to that trust and the overall development of the country. Now that trust is kinda, them a take that trust from the people and putting that trust to the upper class. If the people don't hear what you want to say, then your backs will be against the wall because many cannot benefit. Them say 150,000 houses destroyed. Well, yesterday the major organization to provide housing only provide 5,000.
Right.
So I'm to the other 145,000.
Exactly.
The catastrophe fund is a sham. We don't know how much we have to put or how much the depositors them put because they have to make back an interest on them money. You know? How much they deposit yearly because right away the 150 we get. One company say they want to borrow it.
Right, and we're not supposed to lend like that. You can't have a government lend to third party, and that's how it's supposed to work.
You are lend to a company which have 62% in the stakes, which over these years are making profit plus surplus.
Right.
What happened to the surplus? The people them though, and this is an unsecured loan. Unsecured. So if they want to pay it back, then pay it back. If they don't want to pay it back, them can cut in the next 2 years.
Right.
Jamaicans don't realize the scope of what is taking place because they want to play politics. They want this mentality of fully dunce. So they need this mentality of fully done because them not understand the scope, it is very serious. Very, very serious. It is not a coincidence, Beryl, St. Elizabeth. Melissa, St. Elizabeth. Beryl was just, well, the one who never hurt me, I could send something else. Here comes Melissa. No, we did
And
it.
them start talk about, you know, me can't say me surprised still. Them start talk about rebuilding
A new city.
the,
No,
the,
you
the
can't
new
send
city.
rescuers,
Right,
Rescuers can't go in island because it's dangerous.
right,
But yet still, land surveyors reach down there.
right.
So you can send man to go survey the land, but you can't send man to go rescue the people and take them out of where them there and all of them something.
Right.
Western side of school in a one curriculum. They are now behind. In
Well,
politics, you could account too much people who have to vote and tell me so you can't find a field for pitch something. This is for housing. Families of 5, 4, 2, 3 or 1. We have to use that so everybody where they are so the kids them are going to the school yeah. And that's it's section off. It's not gonna be a regular schooling, but something keep them occupied.
but
You can't
even,
drop water.
but even the school them, the school them where house people, them
They are
supposed to be given
shelters.
a priority. And them can't even get water in most cases.
You put the shelter, but the shelter is neglected. Then
It's
why
only
me
that,
run one shelter?
right. In a one case, them a say them can't find a way for land helicopter. I thought them say them a clear all of the road them.
Then if man can jump down off a rope in a stadium out a helicopter, then why him can't do it and jump in a tree or jump on a house top?
Oh God. But even so, bring some of them trampoline bouncy house business and let it down and drop down things on it. You know have to land. Find
One
another
country,
way. Come
one
on, be
country
a little bit
alone,
creative.
one country alone send 300 man search and rescue.
Virgin.
Me I
None of
say
it no friend.
so where them man there.
Right.
Me see them land at the airport, but from the airport, me not see them.
You see our vehicle are driving from different countries.
But now reach the people. So what? It's just a show.
Yeah, well, I know
It's an
them
act.
gone, Cause them now give the information so we don't know where them gone.
So if you can tightly pon this, because remember, you're the prime minister, so you can organize what they call it now, a special committee, the disaster relief, the Melissa Disaster Relief Committee. So at the MDLC. MDLC we are going now. Melissa MDLC, Melissa MDRLC, Melissa Disaster Relief Committee.
Yeah.
You are the prime minister, you will be still the overseer. If the prime minister come and tell you say him can't oversee, then where do you know what that mean? A dog named dog, only in a dictatorship without knowing. Because if there's no oversight, who
Right.
have the oversight? Even if you put an organization, the organization come back to you, Mr. Prime Minister, this is what we found. This is our plan forward. And you will say, boy, this look too more like on the PNP side. So what, man? The JLP side, I just say, the JLP side never get a damage. Well, not to that significant effect, But we can't spend so much money over this, man. The man thinks they are PNP do it and vote with them and vote me out. Even so. But you deal with the people, them. No,
Well,
Jamaica is resilient. Me say, there's a word I never know I would have lived for year. And that is word resilient. Can you know what this word means? I will suffer you and you shall accept.
right. Because
That's
you know,
all
like,
resilience mean.
it's like a fancy word for determination, determined to live. And that's
You
not right.
determined to live while they are determined to suffer you. You resilient and them resilient to it. So if the two resilience I mean is a resilience of oppression and you have to live within the means.
Right.
So they want you to become more resilient. You have to be careful when them sound certain words and talk to you and really. Anyway, you know, I want to speak to the people them about the NHD, the National Housing Trust. National Housing Trust. In the first place, government should send into the bank to apply for a trust from the trust in which you are contributing to, because you guys are investors, not only contributors. It is for the money invested over the period of time, and they give you a time limit when you can claim back. So if them say, all right, you invest $10 this month, the next 7 years you can claim back for that $10. It simply means so your money will be used over a 7-year period, and it also accumulate interest. Persons who also come to the NHD should not be paying this exorbitant interest. The benefit of the NHD is for the overall benefit of low and middle income earners. So low mean minimum wage. Middle income, you know, the little office regular subordinates them. Yeah. And for the overall well-being of the country, it is in the act and it is a mandate they are assigned to.
Even though people don't realize.
No,
But
we need
people don't
to hold
realize
them
it.
to these things, you know. We need to hold them to these things, you know, man. So the government now is collecting 12.8 billion every quarter. How many quarters within a year? He have been collecting that from 2016, from him there in a power. Where is that money? Stop tell us bullshit.
But and again, it comes back to transparency. If we can't get transparency, how we are going to even know say it correct, even if him say a figure?
Cause them
We can't
divide
get
the
to your
people.
ask for, you know. We
Them
can't
a
get to
rely
your
on
ask
the
for.
fully duns them, you know.
We can't get to your ask for.
Them a
Right.
rely upon the fully duns them, the
Amen.
clerks
All
people,
right.
them clerks. So
Even though
who's the
people don't understand.
clerks?
No people don't understand that NHD is a investment company, you know. But
Right.
the investment company is that the
Hold on.
returns are go back to the people. We're supposed to quote unquote get it, not we, but the people who are supposed to get it.
But
All right.
before it is an invest company, it is a trust. And
Yeah,
to have
no.
a trust, you have a trust act.
Yeah, but remember this, you know. Remember, you know.
So by NHD sending the people to go to the bank for application that is in breach of the act. You, the people, do not contribute to a bank.
Well,
You, the people, do not contribute to a bank. Entertainment purpose only. Views here on this live is not necessarily those of the host or its guests.
That is
right.
it.
The owner ought not to
But,
be going to a bank, but
but
on
all right,
accept
put
it.
it away here. Put it away here. Remember one time, you see, and the man them, me have some man them on a ends a reason, and the man them say, dog, you know, say, and catch it around there, so all you have to do, man, and make sure, say, you buy her this or you give her that. Nothing too expensive, but you get what you want. If you get me, because we are big people. The same thing I reach, you know, because we just there and we are give government what you want. I take off the clothes every time he come. And make sure he satisfy himself and go on yard. And we not complain, we are wait for him a morning to come. We
Which
to
is
carry him
true.
friend them this time. And when him carry him friend them, guess what go on a battery I go get. And then when the whole of them realize you get battery now and you still not complain. Then bring their friend come. And you get more and more battery and you not ask for nothing and you not complain. All you do
That's
is say,
why the people them
when
should
them turn
know
up
say.
here, you know say me hungry. And because you say you're hungry, and you not say it with no farmer conviction, then just say, yo, I say, come on, me make you get sitting. And then them battery again and gone. And the same thing I go on, I that I go on right now.
That's why we not mean a very good battery, because all time people used to say, you know,
How am I get battery too
hold
because
on
you
up,
one can't complain.
craving dog, the belly food. Keep him in a yard, but you see maga dog, we hungry. He may make the thief come in and blood clot rob the yard just for full in belly. And in the terms, you know, if you see the one when belly full, him can't thief no more than what he have already, you know, because him belly full, you know. If him try thief too much, you know, it bust. But we elect some youths, my general. Them man just come in and think and I say, so much money. Jamaicans don't know that the debt has been increased from 2016 to present, And this Melissa, now triple it, man, to what it was. The debt to GDP that reduced, but the overall debt where we owe meaning money where we need to pay. For some reason, the man them keep on increase it. So I say something wrong as well because the debt increase.
But hold
The
on there.
consolidated fund increase.
But hold on there. How can we say we have a debt, but we don't know how much money we have?
Then none that are the thing because everything now them a keep it on a secret. They don't want the people to know. The people think so them in a poverty. The people them don't know so them money can't fix back. You see every house will blow down all 150,000 house. Me I tell you no, the government can put that up back in the space of 1 month.
That's what me I say.
Light and water.
Everybody in a Jamaica can have a house out of that consolidated fund. Me not ask.
In a
Because
1 month.
once you find out
Brethren,
the nature of
how
it,
much money?
The
How
general,
much money
they
we
will not tell you, they will not tell the nation the money we're in the consolidated fund because it has surpassed the debt.
of course. Of course, whatever them a say a debt.
It has surpassed the debt.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you are the thing
Would
now.
I be saying things heard on this voice are not necessarily those of the host nor its guests. We have
And then
surpassed the debt. Listen me,
and then guess
a
what
man
now?
tell me, say, all right, him give me 3 weeks, no money. And him a lose 3.5 million. But while him a lose 3.5 million, him a go make more than we make last year. And him never give it no break. This is Transjam Jamaica. The people them realize what going. And 90 million the man say them out for make this year. Even though them lose 3.5 million US, them out for make 90 million US. More than last year, and them never give no break last year.
But you
So
see,
people realize.
when people when you hear on TV say them lose this amount of money, and this year them are gonna make back certain amount of money. People don't realize what that mean, People that think say you actually lose money, That
No,
most of the time it's not a loss. It's just that the
I don't want
projection,
loss.
the
I just see
projection
them
of
a
what you're supposed to
compare
gain.
against. Them a compare against the last year or a period or a quarter. So them say, yo, why
Right,
me make 30 million US like that quarter, more I make at least 32 million now.
right. And if they
So
don't make it, then call it a loss.
then call it a loss.
Right.
But them always making a profit, and not only a profit, but a surplus.
Yeah, of course.
So why JPS now can go in at the surplus?
Hey. We don't really want to go too far.
300 million, 1 billion US can't hurt JPS. 1 billion US can't hurt them out of them surplus money where they make over the years.
But you
But that
see,
the people them a take for fool.
the thing is again, you have to realize again, we don't have transparency in Jamaica. There's no such thing.
No, but the people can't listen to what them a say.
Yeah,
The man
but
can say, all right, we receive the money, but we don't really know where all of the money going on. But we know that some are going to the consolidated funds. Really?
that can't,
It cannot
can't-
be. You are get money, and you get money for disaster relief, and you don't know where to go.
right. Or how much are going there? How much they
are going
in there?
in, or
And
how
here's
much
the
they-
problem.
How much come out?
Here is the problem. You have the consolidated fund, but then you create one next law to allow other funds to be created. So now you have 15 or 20 or how much other different funds that is unaccounted for.
Gas tax. If you remember, if they want to pay for gas tax, I know we don't know where we're going without the money there for gas tax.
And then here, all right. It is not even if you say we don't know what in the fund, you know. The problem is we are here about so much things will come out where you have how much in $1 million drill. You have how much in $1 million for bus. You have how much in billions of dollars we can't find. Like all of a sudden, them don't know where this go. Them don't know where that go. It just depends on paper, but they don't know who get it.
$1.3 trillion. They don't know how they spend that. You say, boy, buckler. Yo, nah, man.
If you have one bank account, you want to tell me say you can't tell who a withdraw?
My general, there is no way no man can misplace $1.3 trillion. Regardless of the money.
The system is closed, you know. So, and I like say you can take it and go off planet with it.
No.
Right? You can take it and go to a next country and a next country to find out, say, all right, this missing from here, so over here, so we see a surplus. So, something come from somewhere, end up somewhere. The financial system is a closed system, you know. So, you can't misplace financials in the financial system worldwide.
No.
So you can't tell me say you lose millions, billions, and trillions. That don't make no farmer sense when anybody.
No, man. No, yeah. No, where it come to.
That's what you say is an ecosystem unto itself, you know?
Right.
No, where it come to Pegasus. Them know everything.
Alright, everything now. Here enough people don't understand. You see the thing when you voucher, a simple thing as voucher can be used to gain millions, you know, or billions, you know. Alright, remember one time somebody sent me go buy something. You see me? When the person give me the money and say, let them what I say, get a voucher for $2,000 for me. And make sure see that buckle full of water then for argument's sake.
Yeah.
When we go with the buckle and get the buckle full of water, the full buckle of water costs $2,200. But me still get the voucher for the $2,000.
Right.
You see what I say? So I saw them that one of the simplest way. So the government can say, here what happened? We spend $1 billion over here, so in actually 500,000. But
Right.
if can show you a voucher, we say, if can show you a voucher account sheet, we say, $1 million. You see me?
Right.
So all it takes is an accountant with common sense. And you suffer.
Just an accountant will control the book and for them terms.
You know that me I say common sense?
And this is why I said earlier, if you're going to have accountability, you can't have the same government where you audit. I do the auditing.
I do the auditing, true.
It don't make no sense. Get one. Listen, you have smart people all around the world. You have smart governments all over the world. So get somebody else, get another government to come in and say, hey, let's audit your books.
You're not going to use the same voucher style.
No, but the voucher too, you know, remember, you know, the voucher for them creative mechanism. You know.
That is
So
it.
them, it is easily for them to manipulate it.
Right. But
You see me as well?
it's the same thing as the dollar.
Yeah, as the dollar and as taxes. Because we pay tax while them not pay.
Right. If you don't
We
have
pay more for food while them get it on some exorbitant discount.
Right.
When we get 5%, you know, them a get all 40 and 25. A matter of fact, some of the time they get food free. So them can't relate to what we are going through.
Right, and then get it back also in a traveling and housing.
Them get back everything. We pay them
Right,
for
so we
live.
tax.
We
So
pay
we
them
tax
for
your
live.
salary. We
It's
tax
not
your
housing
salary
alone.
now.
We pay them for housing. We pay them for maid. We pay them for chef. We pay them for travel. We pay them for get pay. We pay them for work. We pay them for come work. We pay them for don't come work. We pay them for travel.
a real talk.
We pay them for even shit.
But hold on now. But you don't realize, so we pay them for prostitute too, you know, because when they go
Then
on
you
this
hear me say
country,
we pay them for shit.
when when they go to next country, you know, they get paid for them, what they call it? For miscellaneous. And this where miscellaneous come from, you know.
Me general, if you ever know where some of them is it traveling, them traveling, you see every
Remember say with a
few
president
are
the
in
name
this
again.
life, or not necessarily those or its hosts.
Remember with a president the
Them
name again.
traveling
Remember say that
alone, me
president
general.
remember say that
Make them
president
on
let
the
him load
bank
up the
them
thing, you know.
pay.
Remember
Me a
a
tell that.
president?
Listen, you see,
I want president to load it up, you know. Remember that president? Which one of them president they are girlish, man? And they have one bag of girl. What name again?
Oh,
American
yeah,
president,
yeah,
man.
but him problem was every time I link a girl like private jet in use,
Mm-hmm.
him should have called her over, man. And
Still got
Woman
record.
never they bought them time there. But remember say, you know.
or a
Remember say,
taxi. You see me,
remember say
but
that man.
I just that I think, you know. Them want to keep the people of a level at a level because them want the people believe that everything is hard and difficult. You know,
right,
this
but
every third world country, they are the countries who are oppressed. Why first world country keep going into third world country oppressing them people, them feed them land and them mineral?
Because what them do first, they make sure they attack the leaders, then give the leaders one whole heap of city. So the
Because
leaders
the
can
first world
oppress them
country have
from the base
nothing
and
for them survival, so they need us. Dealer.
No, the
So them
first.
keep coming.
Good evening, gentlemen. I disagree with what you're saying, sir. Not because I was born and bred in England or because I now currently live in America. What I will tell you is that there are no longer first world countries. You need to back that argument all the way back into the corner. What there
Oh,
are
you
is
disagree, but that we just say.
second world countries. England is
No,
now
you then a
second
second
world.
world country. Them not just say that the country where you are in keep on attacking the countries they consider third world for their minerals, resources,
Jamaica's not a third world
women.
country. That's where we're going wrong. It
no,
is.
no, he's saying considered, not to saying it is
Oh,
actually real.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to interject because
Yeah,
the
man.
barrier.
Because in my concept, you know, if you're in a one world, you know, then how you have to declare it first or third. So I'm to second and fourth. You never hear them talk about second world, you know.
What I will
since
tell
you
you is that if you've got the Israelis and multiple countries coming to Jamaica, there is something very precious in Jamaica that is being
Of
looked
course.
at.
Yeah,
Listen,
man. And
let-
once you have the Israelis coming, I think it means that we have a fucked up leader.
but listen
We
to
don't
this,
want
right?
them, yeah.
There's something
thing is, you
precious
know,
there. That's all I can tell you. And
The
I
thing
think
is,
it's the water.
with
Nah,
any,
disrespect your life. You hear me, General?
yeah, man, no problem.
We don't want them out here.
You see, the thing is, nobody is going to show an interest in something that they don't find valuable.
There you go.
So
Trust me.
it is the value that is here in Jamaica. Why we have all kind of things going on when it makes sense. None of it don't make sense, you know.
you know say them want, you know say the red dirt, you know the red dirt and the red mud lake and them something there. Where them did have as waste and them a consider for selling, you know. Cause it have been a lot of rare metals and them something there, you know. You see it? So me hear
Yeah,
them a talk about it.
a matter of fact, the dirt in Jamaica, did you know that? You see some of them supplements you see I sell America and England and them place there? Out of red dirt and clay, them get a lot of them something out of it, you know.
Right,
Hold
they have
on.
a special
Only see
clay.
supplements.
There's a special clay, you see?
What
The
about
only two places you
aluminum?
find
You
it.
know, cut him in general, but what about aluminum? But hold on there. Who control our red dirt in backside?
I think it was Russia one at the time.
Russia. All right. How much nuclear weapon Russia have?
Nobody told you no.
Well, we don't really know.
How much Jamaica have?
Zero.
You think aluminum alone with red dirt bill?
No.
Jamaica, we don't need nuclear weapons.
No, we have the gods them, you know, but the people are divided. They are
Because
divided
you know
and
the thing.
that's why the politicians them can stand in a parliament and tell we say them no know we shall count the money them will come in and the country in.
All right.
But
You
And
don't
surely
know
like
they've
about
3
learned from
weeks
Finland.
after the
Usain Bolt, though.
hurricane, man.
Didn't they have learned
Yeah.
from Usain Bolt? If Usain Bolt lost 10 million US and
10
up to
million.
now,
Them bun
up
down
to
in
now,
blood
so
clot
shouldn't you have
business.
learned
You think
from
them
them?
boy a play with him? Them bun down in business and call it accident. Hold on there,
You
what
know,
do
say
you
the
know?
best thing that you know,
Yes,
say
sir,
the best thing that
tell them
happened to
boy
both,
yeah,
brother.
man.
Brother, the best thing that happened to both, brother. The man business insure that bun down the man nice, brother. Where you come from with that?
General, the same people them a bolt a
The
fight and
man
them
nice,
same one
brother.
who own the insurance. Them going to get a hard battle with that. That was distraction fee.
Aye.
No, no buckle in that, brother. It ain't in a
What?
public eye. Remember when we sink up and down? You forgot
Then
to
it
come
in a
keep the
public eye
extra.
say we thief him money. Alright. I was showing something. You know when most Jamaicans don't are overs, you know. Jamaicans hear about Finsack, but they do not know what is Finsack. Finsack was literally an answer to a problem which was created. You see, one of the same man will create a problem the why Finsack they have to farm, and the same man did own views heard on this live are not necessarily those of the host or its panel. SSN.
Yeah,
Same man.
make sure we reduce the cursing, please.
Yeah, man, I see a man come back here now. The same man and them don't know, you know. So we had banks, financial institutions, and credit unions, you know, were collapsing. And most of these were owned by users on this life are not necessarily those of the host or its panel. Politicians. So Finsack was formed to try to do a bailout, but the scope and the magnitude of the money when the man them frig up. The man them when they invest, them only could have invest based on what they were able, so them could have only bail out that amount. So people think say now the party will come now and farm Finsack and them are the problem. Don't know say Finsack was to solve the damn problem of Century, Eagle, and all of them rotted what thing they will come after. And then I now realize that now the same man come back now. I am same one, you know.
So is the FinSac the people that make the rules that if you put money into, say, someone
Finsack was an
Jamaican national,
institution to buy the debt.
you understand? But I'm asking about the rules as to how much money you can be financially insured for in a bank. For instance, if you put money into Jamaica National, they only insure you up to 2 million Jamaican dollars. So the rest of the money is gone. If you get hacked,
Hold on,
that's
Jamaica
the problem.
National tell you that?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did,
Oh,
sir. And
because
it's less.
me,
It's
me,
less for
me know say,
Scotiabank.
according to me know a 600,000 them saying.
800,000 for Scotiabank, but 2 million Jamaican dollars for JN.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, views here on this live are not necessarily those of the host or his panel. But if you're seeking to invest in Jamaica National.
All right.
All right, so it look like we're getting a bit off topic here because we're
Not
gone
really,
quite a
man.
bit.
We're on the same line, because I see him government and the same thing. But reaffirm it. Yeah, man,
man.
reaffirm it, man.
Yeah, man. The issue here that I want to get across to everyone is that we can do something right now, right? Yes, we know we have a whole heap of different sectors and places and things going on that we never gonna say need attention. It just need to be disbanded. Because if we don't have visibility into anything that is going on, then how can we say we make a solution? Right? The point is we know say the consolidated fund did it. We know say the contingency fund did it, and we know say them create a whole bunch of trust in the people them name, in the name of the government, and we do not have any concrete figure on what is in those funds. None of it has been disclosed to the people. All we hear are reports. We get financial reports, we get, financial data and summaries, we get statistical reports. We don't get any raw data of what is in those funds. Nobody, a matter of fact, if you're not in the financial sector, are privileged in some way, where you are probably sworn to secrecy. You don't know what is in any of those funds. None of us do, right? And the point is, one, we never ask for the financial accounting. Not to say them are going to give we no, but we not ask for. Number two, we have not demanded that the government follow the law. The last time, in a recent time, that we have seen that the government actually do something, it was when the PMP go into the Supreme Court and demand that NIDS be shut down because it is unconstitutional to force people to give up them private data. Force. That is the last recent time where the government literally got shut down from trying to enact and act. Right? So, it is no different now where we as a people, whether individually, as a group, as an organization, as a church, whatever, if you decide to go and put this motion forward, which again is going to be available on voiceofjamaica.com shortly. Once you put in that application, you are now putting the pressure on the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court is mandated by law to ensure that everybody follow the law. It no matter what level of society you are at, you have to be forced to follow the law of the Constitution. So, if them not follow the law of the Constitution, the Supreme Court can force them, can demand, can mandate, put into action that the government immediately follow the law. Not 3 months down the line, not 5 months down the line, right now. Matter of fact, the Supreme Court can put in an injunction to stop everything the government do and make them focus on recovery efforts in Jamaica. Give the people them food, water, shelter, and housing. That is the point of this. So yeah, we now have to wait. You can go down to the Supreme Court with the application Monday. Because of course you need a little time to look it over and see what exactly is in the document. But you'll be able to have this document, download it. It's going to be in a Word file. You can download it. You can modify it to put your name and your information on there. And you can bring it down to the Supreme Court and you can go file that application.
Lawful, man, as I respect. Peace, love, and life.
Yeah, man. Lawful.
Excellent take. Excellent take. Tolerance. Big up yourself. Big up everybody. But one thing we want to touch on, and I hope everybody are hearing me. We need to unite. We need to unite, and we need to put down the politics. We need to open our eyes and realize that these people are using politics to divide us. How can we, as a people who are citizens first, take up our government, our PNP and JLP, while our brothers and sisters are suffering? I say, big man, I go down to St. Elizabeth and Westman. I say, big man with white star, I bite them like hungry and thirsty. While people are pick up for government, yo. If we sit down and be honest with ourselves and look at the resources the government have versus the resources of the people that who have been helping, the government has the pocket big. While
the truth have to be told.
You see me? It's the people who are making most of the impact. The other day, 2 weeks ago, them said, you see me? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Tolerance, the man them said, there's the road block. Then here comes Spice. She cleared the way. What kind of foolishness is that? And how you gonna say, oh, you gonna come up here and you gonna say, oh, the government can do so much and no more. Are you crazy? Yo, people need to wake up, yo. People need to wake up and realize, yo, your brothers and sisters are suffering, while people who can help them, who have gotten the aid to help them, are slowly take them time while people are dying.
People, literally half of the country get.
Look, seven.
Half. Because Hanover, Western St. Anne, Western St. Mary, Norman, and Body say Westmoreland are the epicenter, but Nova.
Mm.
The leaking a Nova, brother. Some of them people, them, I say maroon, them get up on water, surround them. Even no water still arise. And you see like how the water recede in a content, water in a Nova still arise. And even the death toll.
Low, very low for what it is.
We don't hear nothing about the truth of the death toll. Because in a Western St. Andrew alone, up in a Newcastle, where the left hand side of the house of the road wash away. You had at least 3 houses. And a couple people run from for them house going on their house, and the Ross house they move. And we don't hear nothing about them people there. Up to
Remember
this
the bad word. Remember the bad word them.
Oh yeah, my general manners. Yeah. Yeah. The ear what catch me. Actually, me I watch French news, you know. I mean, I tell you, my general, boy, when them play for me sitting there, me I wonder if bad word exists in this country or not. Right? I know me tell them so they can't arrest me for bad word, you know. Because me I go tell them link French news, News 5. Yeah, but Anova get a serious touch. And a parts of St. Mary does the same. You see me? So it's not like say yo a St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland alone at the we have to know what is the storm, you know, and the size of the storm, you know, and the hurricane. You know. So them man say, oh, landfall is in. I say, brother, I want to talk about landfall in one year, I'm general.
You just talk about the eye, where the eye pass over, which is not accurate.
Even the size of the eye.
Right.
The size of the eye itself, you know, you see all of them the scheme they were there in front of it, you know, man. Get shoved, you know.
Of course.
And with the behind and the tail, you know. So them get it, my general. Which part me there? You see, every time me get the show, me say, oh, Father God, have mercy upon them. Which part it there? Wickeder. Because me there far and them a normal breeze. So as some know say any at the forward in a Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine there about. The total country would have collapsed.
Yeah, man. Eat that, man. Eat that. To me, I didn't hold over. I'm going to
The
tell you, see, the
total
tail,
country would have collapsed. So me I say it's either this time me have sense. Or the man me a guide this time I know what them are doing, you know. Because that no, we have to look into these things literally and seriously. Because we know St. Elizabeth from ground provision to fruits.
bread basket, man.
Yeah.
St. Elizabeth that. Every other else, them have them patches. You know, where we have now, we are saving, you know, half of St. Mary, piece of St. Thomas, Portland, St. Catherine, Clarendon, even Manchester. West of Manchester, with the right beside the border, St. Elizabeth. It's not normal and nobody no reach up there, so them the place there yet.
What Mr. Tolerance, there's 3 things I want you to think about. Within the storm, I read this today, Melissa has the fastest gusts in living memory globally. 256 miles per hour is what was measured. That is the fastest. So it came into Jamaica at 185. Beryl, the sister, came in at 160.
Yeah. I hear that still in number here. You drive?
Yes, I do.
Alright. Now this is it. You would up on the highway.
Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone.
You on the highway.
The storm entered the island at 220 miles per hour.
Yeah, man.
Black River, 220 miles per hour. After I pass through Black River, them record the 185.
Okay.
But my brothers and
Yeah.
sisters, this is the slowest moving storm ever.
Exactly. It makes no
Now
sense.
me ask my chick my people them on a drive. Can a vehicle we have travel 20 miles per hour have the same effect as a vehicle we have travel 80?
Not
This is
possible.
the slowest moving storm ever, but it break every record. It break record for speed because it is slowest. But while it is the slowest, it generates so much wind speed.
Right.
While it now move, So me say to then alright, me have to go activate how much me generate as wind speed while me a walk. Cause me a walk faster than the storm.
I mean, that's an oversimplification, but the
But
problem is,
realistic, at the slowest, the storm break every record. At the slowest storm, it have the most intensity, it have the highest, it have the strongest depression. And then the eye, when me see the eye, me have to wonder if a AI. Brother.
well, here's the big problem. The big problem is you have a forward moving storm, and immediately it make a turn, like a literal right turn, like it hit a wall. That is not normal. Like there is
Brother, the
no
thing hit the wall and turn
conceivable
back.
way, no
And then
conceivable
move
way
forward.
something like that hit or sharp right turn, direct right turn, just up so.
Bam. Bam.
And
You
while
see
it make
a
the right
storm.
turn, it
Hold
like
on there.
it's like it say, but one on there. You know say how I saw the boy there. Cause to a Melissa, you know say how the yard there boy there with the baby mother and it turn back and then turn sharp again. Me I say how the blood clot is.
Uh, did
Hey,
you know
Hold on,
that
the language. Yeah.
before, alright, did you know to how the distance of the storm is? They drew the map for we to think it's going into Kingston when the storm is nowhere near the island. Did you
right.
notice that?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And
Yeah,
within the
man,
Caribbean, while it's
if they go
developing,
up on
it
the
moves
radar
like
mapping, you
a
would have seen it.
snake. It moves like a snake. Zoink, zoink, and zoink, zoink, and then go far away from Jamaica. Just like what this man's saying right now. It make a
The
huge
only star
turn.
moved that way since
It make a huge
1980.
turn. So
The only
when I
star
have the
moved
map,
that way
I have
since them navigate storms.
I have the tracing on it, of it on my phone,
They
right?
say are the only storm moved that way since they have been recording storms. The
Right.
only one.
And then it scorched all the trees and desiccated all the branches and the leaves. Everything turned brown.
Blessed love, family. King man, blessed love, everyone. From the
Blessed
panel
love.
and
Yeah, man, manners and life.
respect for A76 where
Why
I
is
bring
it
them
6 you can't go away
overstanding
for
and
now
to the
again?
people
You know,
them.
so you have got to recalculate. Hush.
Yeah,
So,
all right.
So all of us agree it's a man-made storm then.
We not wait there. We not wait there. We not
The
listen
storm
now.
itself is not man-made, you know,
We,
but
the storm no man made. Make we put in other context. Say it was manipulated. Make us put it away. Yeah.
True.
Somebody chose some little seasoning in this pot whenever they suppose eat it. Man, they
True.
boil the pot.
only
Right?
pepper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
them
man,
people to
because
make too much pepper and other
them
one.
need development. Them
So,
need
hear
the
me now.
development.
Yeah, let me say that little piece here. Even specifically pertaining to some of the information where the King Man bring forward earlier on. And without a shadow of doubt, we know we have some pilferers around us. Yeah, some pilferers. And that's the word the PM use. Pilfering is going on. And you see what them do, where them are hide things from people. And the good thing is that creation make we reach the place where part them can hide the truth from we no more. We can see, and I think about it, them can hide the truth in the sense that we can see that them not tell with the truth. This is where I think at the first time Jamaica or Jamaicans reach to the point where they know that the trust for the system what we call government, I think we reach to the highest point of mistrust of the system where we can say, uno a liar. Uno a liar. We can say, tell them in their face, uno a liar.
Yeah, man.
We can use documentation even from what we can find for sure say uno not be truthful. Uno not this thing where name we're supposed to be a part of uno thing named transparency. Uno use one black paint and paint over that. So nobody can see through the paperwork. Right? We reach to the place where we are gonna say in what's next for we know. What we are gonna do next. Or we are gonna deal with this demonic organization. This is a demonic organization that use the resources of our people to do all kind of stuff, but we don't even know what them are doing it because they have funds, and just like the virgin said, like myself, we did live through Gilbert. We did there when Gilbert. I probably about 16, between 16 and 18 when Gilbert they come through. Me experienced that. Me did go and watch this. The PM after how long after the hurricane, I see one clip where the PM tell some overseas interviewers, I say they're not ready to do search and rescue yet. I in a Gilbert, I was part of the scout movement at that time, and they put out a APB on the radio that persons who can come and assist with rescue and stuff like that. And I was also a part of the police youth club who can come out and assist. And I did in the police jeep up and down. We are going places arrest. In at this time, in at Gilbert, when this time are gone, we are go around and take out all people out the house. We are flood. We are going to take out 3 of people. We are here say looting and go on and try for balance. In at this time. You hear me say? In at this time. And this, let me call him that way. This demon possessed individual. Demon possessed individual. I come and try to say, how long after this time you can't go find nobody, and then me this ignoramus person I talk about, some people over there are marooned and the only way we can reach them is by helicopter.
I don't know.
You don't know about Bamboo Raft.
I don't know.
You don't know about Bamboo Raft. You don't know about tie 2 plastic packets together and pack go over one place.
Yeah, man, but
that 876 first I say this. It's obvious that these individuals, it's not like you can't even call them incompetent. They don't care. We can without a shadow of a doubt. They don't care and they don't know what they don't know what them are do. And we can tell them this too. Not even the devil don't want them which part him there. Because they know where them are so rotted and more evil than me. Because some people are coming our face. And the good thing is, even persons like myself from what I call say, according to their I borrow some of the words when they use because I don't have one sit with them where them enough of them talk but they have doctorate and then sit. Me not buy that. Me not buy no DR from nobody. But creation give me one something. The most I give me something we can use. Well, most of the call common sense. We learn things over time and can we call it pick sense out of nonsense and then something there. And even the last one when we see where this individual call himself representing the people. I will come out and disrespect we people with this foolishness where you have some money that you're supposed to be using to assist the people of the country. And what? 1 month after, you say you not do nothing with the money yet?
No, him say
I'm going to say you not do nothing with the money yet?
I'm saying I'm going to lend the money to JPS.
The family, we are right. This is how we 876 and whoever else out there who have the capacity to do that. Please, me know a virgin, me I go send 876 the thing. Me there amongst a virgin right now in a Spanish town, one place named New Horizon. There's a virgin who do training and then stuff there in a farming, and we have a project where I'm going to put forward in regards to how we can re-energize back the country in terms of training in a farming, in a beehive, in a nursery, and them something there, right? Where we can do stuff to regenerate back with country. Because it's obvious that the plans where them have are not planned for the people. Whatever plan they have is not for help. Not just like what the Virgin said. Let me say that part. And like you said, me I go be repetitive and I say over the stuff there. We always, from me know myself, me always I hear about hurricane season. So I just like winter, autumn, and summer. Jamaica have one next one. Instead of the 4 seasons, Jamaica have 5. We have hurricane season a full pack, right? Where it happen every year, we get that in a full package. Winter, autumn, wherever they want to call it, and we have one slot where we have hurricane season. Not even 2 scandal bag tent no put on. You hear me? Not even 2 scandal bag tent no put on around one corner. Just in case somebody lose their little tattoo. You can't say see one sitting here. All of the blood clean, you take ratty dial bitch everlasting bulldozer and tear down people container concrete house. But you don't have, and you want to take where people land. Can you what the government, you know?
Yeah, I'm a general. So what I'm a general, you in Jamaica? Or in
Yes,
diaspora?
yes, sir.
You in Jamaica?
Yes, sir.
So here what go on, you know. Them say them are going to report here services because he must speak truth. So we there now go burn a fire now. So you see everybody where you know in every group. We are going to burn a fire now, you know. Because we are going to burn the fire real. We need to be unpartisan, neither JLP nor PNP, but Jamaicans. Jamaicans. May I use the Spanish word them. Jamaicans. Children of thy father. So here we know. These people are do things like them don't know so them can do things. JPS don't need to borrow no money. We own 38% of JPS. Them own 62%. They make more money than what we make. Why them want to borrow from we?
Let me say this. Me hear the man come and say, according to one notification, like they say 380 million or 350 million.
300 million US them need now.
350 they say they want. Wait now.
No man, 350 them want. Alright, 350.
Okay, so them say they need 350 to get back the system up, right? Okay, alright, I could take time with that one. According to Mr. Golden, Mr. Man attack and I say, the system own 20%, right? I'm here one question. I'm here one part of the question say, them people there, if we go up on the record and say, how much money GPS make over the last 5 years in a profit? How much money they make? In
go
a
back
profit,
to when we sell
half
it.
a week, right? They make
Go
profit
back to when we sell it.
Sorry?
And you don't only have profit in it, you have profit and you have surplus.
Okay. Wait, we take time, man. We could go one piece at a
Try
time.
to remember that today. You have profit and you have surplus.
Correction. Look on the numbers. 19 point something percent we have as the according to the system. All right. So check this now.
JPS has make over 100 billion US from Jamaica.
Hold on, the man. Wait.
So there is no way they need to borrow
So hold on,
150 million.
So wait there.
They are taking Jamaican people for fully dunce.
We could take time, man, because remember, you know, when we have them reasoning, you get some people we call the back of the class people them to come to the front, and we take time.
Fully dunce there, some man. 876 program this man.
But look on.
876 this the man.
But that's why persons come here to learn. Like myself, that's why I come and I'm here when in the you know. That's why when the man they put out the notification and say, if you want me to talk about this thing, you just tell me so you're ready. And that's why I am there here. Because the man say, if you're not ready, I am ready to help. And for sure, no one go on. And the man
that's why I try to bring you back to that.
No, remember, you know, with their school in our class with them, with their class,
man, and I eat too one
class with them. And me come to learn.
Too far
and
from
meantime, me I learn. Me like to ask questions. That's why then they never like me in a school, you know. That's why me and no go too far in that, because when me ask the clarification, did you know the teacher that used to do me? You are going like you ask everybody, and ask you're going like you not learn nothing, and then stop caught miss. You know what me do after me I got primary school is like me stop, you know. Me stop because the teacher they never want to explain things to I. So me just like give up from primary school. Me got then call me troublemaker. Me ask too much question. But me
Yeah,
glad see
man,
me ask
questions
like
are
year
meant to be
76. Where if
asked.
me ask him something, this man I will break it down to it. That's we can come out with something and say, oh, I saw you go. Because
Hey, the
when the
man
man
say a
read up
fire in
earlier,
my bunny now.
wait, you know, earlier on when the man break it down and say, them people here can go on a one corner, right one sitting, take the money and no answer to nobody. Not
Okay.
train not did the way you can go and say, okay, so you say you move some money from this to this. Where your money there? What no
And
use it do?
him as the head can't have oversight. So who fi have
Brother,
oversight?
876. I'm need to ask man like you. The Prime Minister, how much then call where you call her sitting there? How much office him hold? How much job him hold in the government? Because him a head of heavy ratty thing, you know. How much
Alright.
job him a run one time?
Him at the
Brother,
head of
first thing,
defense. Him at the head of defense. Him at
wait,
the
no
head of
man.
NHT.
Take time with me.
Him at the head of the recovery.
Vietnam
Him
man,
at the head of
brother,
ADPEM.
brother.
Him at the head of the election.
Conkim no man, conkim man making tappy talking no man. Conkim.
Tolerance, hold on there. Slow down a little bit. Slow down a little bit. More, make sure somebody get the full question. You say how much office in whole? Is that the full question?
How much office can me hear about sitting in just add one more twin sitting with them called portfolio. Now in my ababa met what and then you have that the man they know when saying put in charge. Every minute that the man there try searching brains, if you go to everything, every minute you ask him one question, he might look up in her ear like he might look in her head to see the answer. Every minute he might search up in her brain like he might look up in her head like, oh, where the answer?
So here we go on. The Prime Minister only have one office. However, he can control all of the offices below him. Right? When you hear about minister of this, minister of that, those are actual offices, you know. Right? Now, even if you want to say he is the head of the military, the head of the police, the head of this, the head of that, he can tell them, you know, he can advise them to say, hey, go ahead and do this. And more than likely, they're going to take his advice. Right? But he only have one office. And there is one individual above him, which is the GG, the Governor General.
Yeah.
Right? So technically, he only has one office, but he has influence over all of the other departments of the government because...
So let me ask it then. So this new one, ADPEM, what they call it, ADPEM, right? In regards to decisions that are made in ADPEM, in terms of moving funds, doing allocation, getting stuff done. In essence, then the Prime Minister is over that in terms of the last say.
No.
When the person who is in charge, when put in charge, that man there, the search my brain. Search my brain.
Minister of Finance.
Remember,
Minister of Finance.
was an
No man,
independent
you matter about
officer.
the general when I'm a question for ADPEM.
ODP,
Any question I ask him not have no clue about.
Oh,
Turbulence.
Like how much flour distribute, how much water and all of them things there.
Yeah.
You see me and say, him not have a clue about it, so him always a looking at the sky when and the camera left on.
No,
Yeah,
turbulence. The much if you say ADPEM was an independent office, right?
Yeah,
That
it was, you know.
underneath
but
no
it under-
Labour
it
right
under
now,
the Prime Minister
PMP
now.
govern, right? It's just for the country and natural disasters, fires, and those type of stuff. So
Yeah.
the person say, why did the government take that independent body and put it under his office
Money.
or under his command?
Money.
Why?
Money we are coming. The money
No,
that we are coming
no.
under the office.
no, let me address that one. If you have an independent body created by an act or created by some, because everything they do has to be written down, you know. It have to be traced back. You can't have no action going in a government without documentation. So they normally put it in some kind of legislation, right? So once you put it in legislation, someone has to be held accountable for that office. You can't just create something so and it start do whatever it pleases. So who is going to be blamed if that office has corruption? That is what it's come down to.
Yeah.
So that is why someone is going to be put as the head of any new office that is created. It is not going to be, all right, for example, they say minister without portfolio, right? So him start control 2, 3, 4, and 5 different things within government. The minister without portfolio is responsible for all of those. So if somebody is supposed to be sued or somebody is supposed to go to jail, him a go. Because he is held accountable or she is held accountable.
So you just basically put somebody in a position, but you are on the thing for run back.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know what. Hey, remember, you know, we gone past a place there, and we overstand to a point where we know how the system, how it's set up, because you help to break it down today, and respect for that, because when it, like I said, them have this big old wall like down at the prison, and like them I say, we are, and then, oh gosh, me say, bro, me don't know how, the hardest thing what we can do right now is try to say we are look on these individuals for answers, because it's obvious, it's so obvious that you can look on them and say, you don't know where you are, you don't know one thing where you are blown to you. Because every time we ask something, you have to have, oh yes, we are in consultation with several agencies, and we are now in the process of getting something done right now. I don't know, nobody do like the man. We tell the next one, say the two madman, then when the next one say, bet you, when me hang myself, when me whistle, you cut me down. And them that know, you know, and them that know. So, as me I say now, we have to look at how we are better ourselves out of this, because it's obvious. Me think say it's very obvious that we call it, because we care about we people them. We know, and the crazy thing we know say the so-called system what we call government is over the thing. Me hear one interview with Mark Golden and one bridge in Shaka Fame. And Mark Golden said that it's only in a parliament we really have a talk. Because outside of that, I hear Crawford did a talk to the CM looking at Skyman. Looking at Skyman, he asked him man 2 questions, and you don't know whether man
the people start
when
the opposition have to move.
The man asked him, say, oh, so how much according to no survey you want to do? How much bottle of water on distribute each day? Him no know. Then say them hand out food, him no know. What the rotation, him no know. And this and the next part of me can't overstand family. You can't enough help me with this. Me hear some numbers are called for this time just done, this day after. With 876, I have to go back and do the calculation and bring it back to it. Because me hear some breeder money and some breeder something we are come to Jamaica to assist the people them. And me still look around to say, where then something that there? Where are the things that supposed to be assisting? Me hear about how much tent we're supposed to arrive here from wherever that then can assist the people them be better than life, and people still, according to what me I hear, persons are still being housed in the schools that need, then still partially dilapidated from the hurricane in them and affected it. No, let me say this, sorry for clarification. Worse affected areas, because every single parish, this is our next thing where the old demon then I say, every single parish in Jamaica was affected by the storm. Bro, you talk about 400, me hear about 500 and something that I last quote me here. 500 and a generator. 500 and a generator. We're supposed to assist. Then they talk about how much police station we have at Jamaica. We need generator. How much of them? How much police station we have at Jamaica?
All of them.
How much? No, me I say how much police station we have at Jamaica? None of them never on a generator for a long time.
Well, most of them not on a generator car. Them never build them with their capacity, you know.
But they never kind of either something that. Then they never know say stand with
That's
them
be an
come.
all-time jailhouse and prison we have
You know
now.
that
And
them
like
just
some
equip
modern day.
them
That
with
be
no
all-time thing, brother.
firearm
And them
things
never
there.
like want to
Yeah.
update it none at
Them
all.
never
So now
upgrade.
this hurricane come, it showed the whole damage of how them around
Yeah,
the
it
country
show
for the
what
last
them need to
200,
upgrade.
400 years. Both party. Not one side, both party.
Bro,
Yeah, man.
you're what I'm interested in now. You see now, I'm interested in that now. And you see if something to do, you see
No man, no I mean, alright, what you are going? You see NHC they are retrofit. Some of my police station them they are retrofit, you know.
so let me ask, wait
And
there.
that was
So
being
no,
done. That was being done by NHC. So you see, like if you go Constant Spring, Arbitrary, and them one day like corporate here, you know, so them fully AC and all of them thing there. So that was a thing we are reached. So some of the Western station them now. You see them one they will get leak.
all of the new brand, remember you know, me see one whole heap of ribbon a cut. Me see man a police station a whooping like how you'd have whooping fast food restaurant about the place.
Yeah man,
I
the
see
ribbon
some
no
police
cut no
station
mean for the word
what
done.
ribbon cut. So me I ask, then smart people that are supposedly smart people. When them did a draft up this plan for the police station them, nobody never thinks light can go on and them go want the police station them for at least be able if can function same. Nobody never did think that.
Remember, you know, yes, alright. You see
In
like that thing
2025,
away.
listen
See
now.
that
In
thing away
2025,
876 of on the
turbulence.
screen. Everybody
Let me say
can
this,
hold
turbulence.
on man. Everybody can screenshot this way 876 up on the screen.
No, man, you know, free the screenshot it. Like me say, it's gonna be on voiceofjamaica.com.
Alright.
Yeah, man.
So now plus a 190 police station. So you have constable force operation of 20 head station, and you have rural police force of 189 stations.
Yeah. But like me I say,
So
some
say
of them
about 250
NHC
stations don't have
start.
police station, don't have generator.
Yeah man. 80% of them don't, well 90% of them don't have generator.
Wow. Boy, me don't know enough family, but me know this much. Me don't know, but me know this much.
No, me I tell you, 90% of them don't have generator. So at
One
that
thing,
no.
this is one thing when me hear an interview.
199 police station in total, is it?
Me add this part. Me hear an interview with Daryl Vaz, and I think a female journalist, and I asked about the same money when say, oh yes, we are gonna give them the 150 million. I mean still I say, me no hear me no hear him come and say, yeah man, we talk to JPS, you know. Cause the man asks the question, so the next 200 million US we're supposed to fix the deal with the thing. You are gonna tell me, say no, you're one businessman or you're one operation. And you can't say to some people, say, yo, so we're full no money there. You are gonna tell me,
General,
say, we're for your money there. We are
how much you get from the catastrophe fund?
No.
Listen,
How much you get from the catastrophe fund?
they are never going to disclose where the money is coming from.
150 million US dollars.
Tell we nothing, brother. You ever
And that we are
see
get from the
anything at
Polano.
all, then tell we nothing at
You
all.
see,
what
from the
about-
catastrophe fund, we are get 150 million US dollars.
I
And you
don't
see
know
that
can give them.
150 where we get, hold on no? You see that 150 we get, you know what we say we are doing with the money? We are lend JPS
Yes.
on
No,
an unsecured
all
loan.
right.
No.
Hold on. Let us make this clear. There is no we. It is only a few who are making decisions on behalf. Right.
Application. Well,
No.
yes,
We are only spectators as far as this
Yeah.
show is concerned. We sit down in the audience.
Bro, let me say
Yeah,
this.
man. Stand
Mr.
corrected.
Vaz said this. Wait there. Mr. Vaz said it in the interview. The man said the accountant, the man will hold the money bag, And
Yeah,
one
him
more
say.
person, wait, you know, he said, they make the decision. And I think the emperor said to him, said, so you never did have no other plan? You hear what the man said? Whatever them say, so you go. So you never have nothing to say? You never have no plan for yourself?
But hold on
You
now.
know,
So you have to realize, when these people are talking on TV, they are not typically talking plain English. They might go say some things where sound like a saw it go, but I no saw it go.
I know so you go.
Them are talking a legalese. So you see when time somebody say, well, based on the situations, we have to assess this and we have to ensure that, we have proper, resources and funding and this. What them I say is simple. We not do nothing and not did it yet. We have money, we're going to something, but we don't see where the money come out to. So therefore, the money is missing. Therefore, we not do anything, but money gone. That simply means
with the A76, with the pan we own, and at that moment we come to the realize and say, the system does not care about us. We better figure out how we are going to survive about this. Let me tell you know where we are doing over here. So wait, no, let me tell you know where we are. But there one place is part one, the second biggest greenhouse there in Jamaica, down in the Spanish zone. Second biggest greenhouse. What Virgin over there sterilized some woolly tree, how much 100 tree in there over there sterilized because they plant out some stuff. You hear me I say? We have one next Virgin take care of the bees them. Because we are going to try to re-energize the bee industry. Right? That's we can start back something. Them people, them do not care. See, because when you look when you hear say they're supposed to make preparation. It's so sad to see them stand up and talk. And like the man said, them are talking a leak, them are talk one different language from we. I wonder if some people know that. And no female language then chat, you know. You don't know, so they not chat female language. They know sound nothing like a we. Because that's why we have to take out our dictionary, try to figure out where them just here a while ago. Then
right.
talk some language where, like I said, wait, hold on there. Because this is our next thing. I want to ask a question. How come the people in the place when they in parliament talk one different language from the people in the country? How me don't that me I try to figure out. How?
All right.
That means there are two different countries there, you know.
we can't.
Politician country and the rest are we.
That problem is bigger than what we're there right now. The immediate thing is that we want something we can do right now. Yes, there is an answer for it, but that is an entire class for breakdown why we have people are speaking smoky and the regular people them every day are part of our chat. You see it? So what we really want laser focus on is to get the country back in a state where the government now tell we foolishness and we tell the government say, listen, go ahead, use this and fix the problem. We don't want to hear no excuses and no planning and all this nonsense.
No
because
excuse.
obviously we have the expertise to fix the problem. Expertise is
And
not
the
the
money.
problem. Expertise is not the problem and we have the money.
We have the people. That are the next thing. We have people at Jamaica. Hey, listen, you know and thank you creation, thank you Musa if you make me remember your name. Ralston Iman. One of the greatest accountant we ever come out off of the rock when he in Jamaica. You hear me? That man there. If that the man there did the head of finance at Jamaica, by the end of next year, we are live like the people, so-called people them down at Dubai. If I him did I run this. Because the other day, correct me if I'm wrong, did the man then spend over $100 million to get 40-something cent per dollar? You hear about that?
Yeah.
So who did that match say? Who? Which me
but
want to figure
again-
out which accountant do that match there, you know?
But again, you have to remember, them are going to use context that don't matter. The point of all of this is we still don't know how much money is in the consolidated fund, nor in the other funds that were created by law. So when them say 100 million, what if we have $500 trillion in the consolidated fund? Does that $100 million really matter right now?
No.
Right, so we have to focus because we can always come back. All right, remember, you see, in law, fraud and jurisdiction can be attacked at any time. So you see, if we have fraud, it's just keep the focus. So when the time comes to hold people accountable, we can always go back to fraud and find them and deal with them that way. But for right now, we have to deal with what is at hand.
Yeah.
You get me? Because at the end of the day, if we go over here, so a rundown tail off or something else, and we have a bigger problem, it just not gonna make no sense. Because to bring justice in some of these cases, in many cases, even though you have the public disclosures and the admissions and all of them something they will come out, upon the news media, upon everywhere else, you still have to prove all the elements of a crime. You have to still prove all the elements of whatever is going on. So it better if we focus on getting back to normalcy, getting back, the people back into power, rather than focusing on what should have been, what could have been, where them a tell where them now do and all them something. No. Let us use the lawful mandate and demand the Supreme Court force the government. Because at this point, them not do it on them own.
Alright, listen now. As of 2025, 2026, the first year, the Jamaica Consolidated Fund is projected to receive 1.6 trillion Jamaican dollars in total revenue and loans. This included roughly 1.24 trillion from tax revenue, about $6.77 billion from grants, and around $158.44 billion from loan receipts. These funds are used for various expenditures like infrastructure, products, and services.
That sounds like it comes from aggregate
change
data.
over time. You say it can change over time.
Right. That sounds like it come from aggregate data.
Right. So this come from the chat. As I said, chat GPT. This come from the chat. Right.
All right. You see the problem with that? Chat GPT still don't have access to the financial data. They have access to summaries and data aggregates. So
estimates and all these things.
Summaries where them released from
from
that time.
Yeah. Huh?
Summaries where them released from when them released it in that time, so it is not up to date. So
and then
the 1 point add and me they don't say already we passed that long time.
Listen, I have access to some information, but I don't have access to the actual account. Right?
No. Well, we don't have access to the actual account, but we know the information scheme of things,
Right, and I can prove that the government is out there investing from the fund and doing all kinds of other things with bonds and loan and whatever, but that is not the point here. The point here is if we don't know what in the account, it no matter what we say. That is the real point. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, me know say Jamaica is not a poor place. Because from colonial times, all of them investment vehicle, all of them bonds, all of them trust funds, all of them, everything that we have a go on right now, it has been going on for at least 300 years. So all our parents and grandparents and great-grand go all the way back. Then people have been investing in the fund of Jamaica. I know now the fund just created.
But not only that in A76. If you can spend $1.3 trillion and can't remember how you spend it, it shows you how much money you have.
Exactly.
So $1.3 trillion, a 1 year budget that simply means we don't have to pay no GCT, no income tax, no PAYE, nothing. For 1 year, because man them dash at the money.
76 said and Gabby said that getting to the information pertaining to how much money we have. That we want. How much money we have? I tell the person, yo, Mr. Prime Minister, we want to know how much money we have. Make we ask the question like, oh, brother.
Alright. Since
Wait,
lately,
man,
Point
one
we have,
wait, no,
Jamaica is not a poor country, and
wait,
the
no, man,
recent
wait, no, man,
discovery
because
of
you can
gold,
understand what language. Wait, the
oil,
man, wait. Because,
uranium,
wait, no,
Not,
man,
nickel.
not tolerance. Hold on there. Hold
we are
on.
not
Let me hear the rest of
tolerance,
the
man.
question.
We are not tolerant. Nobody going at them whole for money business. Because that our next sitting again. We can't talk about that until we just make we stop like what 876 say. And make we say it that way. Mr. PM, Prime Minister, Mr. wherever name Holness. Here what I say. Here what Kayapas say. Me want to know how much money we have. That me want to know. Me no want to hear you come and tell me no speech about which party I go invest, divest, overstep, understep. Me no want to hear not more to your mouth. All me want to know how much money we have. That me want to know. Me no know about uno. Because me sure about this. This is one of the richest place on the earth. That place that we call Jamaica. Yes, sir. One of the richest place on earth. Me want to know. 876. Me tell him, say me see so. Tell me
Me?
want to know.
Hey, hold on. Hold on there, brother. Me not
Me
have
a
no
say so.
contact to the man. Me not know the
Bro,
man like that. Me
hold
not have
on.
no direct link.
Hold on there.
No, no,
I need
no,
to
no,
man there.
no.
I say me can say to cause my man say my
motivational speaker you
wait
down
you
here,
know
sir. See motivational speaker down here, sir. You can
wait
chat
you
to
know
him. Him send the message.
wait there cause all my man them be sending my message cause then team some of me sitting them over WAP to cause look like saying you have a link. And I want back me sitting them cause when me did that move back to Jamaica then team for some of me sitting them. So I want me sitting them so you can tell me how you go cause you have the camera long link straight to the
Alright,
yard.
Andrew motivational. I have a question for you. How can we get so much money at one time we see one of your party want to speak about what spend? We see a person said we don't spend any of the money yet. Like, and the next person will look upon them like, what?
What?
Like, why you lying to the public? Could you tell me what's going on?
If you want to
Listen.
come up in the box, you can come in and talk,
Yeah, man. Would I like see Andrew there? Andrew, come,
I know,
blood thief.
Andrew, I'm
Andrew.
motivational.
No. Andrew, come up here. We need to talk to you. You we need to talk to. Andrew, come up here. Cause
Yeah.
we don't want to talk to no other minister. We want to talk to Andrew himself. Andrew, come up in the box. We want to ask you some question. They don't be a laugh.
Yeah,
Come up here, make we chat to you.
876.
And you want to talk to because we
General, I
want to
know
know
say
where my
Andrew
mouth
are
there.
listening to you, know.
Me want to know where my see Andrew there. When he said nose, where am I say?
Him
No,
say
No,
noise in
nice.
the background, him can't come up
nice.
right now. You have children
Nice.
around.
You see, yeah, man. Excuse it. They are same thing you that do. See, I feel him apply that, They always have an excuse when them come up and talk to the people them. But pilfering is going on. Yes, we know it's the thief in a guan. And you never want to say it, but oh yes, we know that there is some pilfering going on. Yeah. How much you not pilfer? Tell her. Yes,
Look,
76.
look,
Yeah.
look, look.
Wait there, man.
Those
Wait,
who
wait, wait.
follow the money
Wait.
will get
Turn
tricked by
relax.
the magicians.
Turn
No,
relax.
I
Come
know
here,
that,
talk
you
me
know,
to it.
here's the thing. The man never get some
Wait.
money now, the man say, don't know, I wish I could, the money never go in there. Me see how the blood clot I go on here, so.
Hey, Richard.
And that's what, I never know if
Listen
there's so much
about
foundation. Me say,
wait.
I never know if
Listen.
there's so much foundation in Jamaica,
Listen, me say me want to talk to
Listen.
me want to talk to Andrew because remember me hear the man say that we need to put him in the middle of the box. You see where
And
you
this
have the
them don't
parliament.
know
Wait
which
the man.
account the money is going into.
Wait
But
first,
it is
man. Wait.
not the consolidated funds and it is not an account which the government have access to. So we don't know who
Oi,
have access to the
wait, hold
account.
on there. So who put you over there? And the government put you. Who the I have to put you over there for the government now put you there?
And that no,
They,
at that
hold
I
on,
didn't
hold
Which
know.
other
on,
agency we have?
hold on.
876, you have to do some investigation. Which
I
other agency
recognize,
we have among
I
money?
did, hold on the king and turbo. I did heard that the government said, um, him say, I didn't, I didn't have no authority to look over those funds or something like that. Since like back in 2021, something like so, in this say never have no oversight of it. So maybe now I'm have oversight.
You
So
have oversight of it
Andrew,
now.
tell you
So
what, go
no
on,
to be
Andrew.
the
Put
government
the kids them
account
in
of
the next room
oversight.
and forward. Go in the
How you
office.
to be the government and don't have oversight? Then what are you?
The way I do then. Me not
Wait,
listen.
Government
but
too?
remember, remember again, even if you have oversight or you have regulatory bodies or you have auditing bodies or whatever, the problem I have is how are you going to be the subject of your own investigation?
But not even that, you know, see man take for himself. The man say him no know what going on with the money.
There's
Cause him
something
have
I feel
oversight. So the money a come in at the country and him and prime minister and don't know where it a go.
all them the
That
foolish.
make him worse. Me say that him no know say that make him worse. Him I can't say it on the live, but
Listen,
that even
hold
worse.
on. Hold on, man. Hold
I
on.
governor, I leader. You know.
Wait no. Cause guess what now? This is
Even
one
if you put an agency, the agency come back out, sir, this is what we found and this is our, you know, this is
Right.
our.
But how credible is that?
No. Listen, man.
Well,
We
if the
can't.
man come and tell me say him want thief some money, then that's a problem, bro.
I mean if him come and tell me. Then the man not tell you. Remote. Why go on? Listen, let me say this before remote say something. Hear this now. I'm going to repeat that part because I think the PM needs to be investigated. Me believe this. Wait no man. Based on the statement that the man made, you know. Listen to me now. Based on the either try to make up nothing. Based on the statement that the gentleman said, you can go and search the archive. The evidence is there. Because when the lady confronted the PM brightly said that there is some pilfering going on in his cabinet. Some pilfering is going on. Let me say this part of the last part on that.
In my head.
Pilfering, wait no man, listen. Remember 8768, you know, they use some word where some of the people they don't know and hide back at the word them. Because petty thief, that a pilfering. Petty thief. Petty thief. Petty thief. Make me call it
No
so
man, me general, but this no petty a millions of dollars.
no man, but wait no turbulence. Let me
Millions of dollars you talk about, you know, brother. It's not petty no time.
Wait no man. Wait.
Heist.
Because remember this. Remember that part. Let me say the last part. What? $100. Make you go up the line. $100. A little bit of money for smaddy. $1,000. A little bit of money for smaddy. $100,000. A little bit of money for smaddy. $1 million. A little bit of money for smaddy. $1 trillion. A little bit. How much you not appeal for? How much them appeal for that? Me want think once. You know what we are gonna do? You know what we are gonna set him up on? One electric chair.
No.
Wait, man.
No. We're not gonna go there, so. We're not
This is
gonna
what
go
me
there.
I say, no, man. This
Me get where you say still.
Yeah, man, we get where you say, but we can't go there, say, you know, cause man listen, you know. He might
Lie
depend on the
detector
live.
test.
Yeah.
Just put him on a
Yeah,
lie
him
detector
depend,
test.
no, him depend on the live, man. Him depend on the live. I mean,
We are not here. Listen.
Some would have depend on the live, you know.
We're not here to accuse anyone, right? The
Yeah.
point here is we have an emergency and we can't overstand why it is that we have the resources, we have the manpower, we have everything at our disposal, but the government refused to act. It has been over a month and they clearly said they have not spent any money from the government coffers. And coffers means every account, every fund, every trust, everywhere. It is there, them even a receive from outside, but yet still, the people them dead here and them don't have housing, they don't have food, they don't have shelter, they don't have water, they don't have any protection. When that is the purpose of government.
My question to you is
And
this.
we
Manners and
have,
respect, everybody.
we have the Emergency Act. We have the Emergency Act. So a government cannot tell you in an emergency about GCT, income tax, property tax, all of these taxes and all of those. Those are come null and void. Once that is why in don't declare this is sacred. Oh, these are Westmoreland has feel the brunt. Why haven't we heard a disaster zone declared?
But even so, we don't need him to declare that.
No, we don't need him to declare that, you know, but You see, Tree want to hide the money.
But it,
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah.
We soon get into
even
that,
if
you
you
know.
hide the money now, you see, man like me and you know, we can even run at him even more. And him know that.
Right, but hold on a second. Stick a pin in that. Roger, what you say?
Hey, man, I was gonna speak again. So I'm gonna just say something first before I'm going home. Like I say, it's a procurement process. You have a thing called emergency procurement. Zine, the emergency procurement, you don't have to go through the natural channel of getting what we call it now. Do a procurement process where you get bidders and them. There's a process. There's this long, lengthy process. We are going through an emergency. See, where people are using this word procurement. Oh, you have to procurement is a process. No, you have certain things where we can bypass the normal route because of
No,
the
once there's an emergency, the normal procurement procedure is null and void. Everything where it's normal, where would that take
Exactly.
6 months, 1 year, everything.
Exactly.
You have an
Exactly.
emergency happening,
Right
you know, so
now.
you need to act
Right
now.
now.
Exactly.
Right
And
So
now.
you need
I've
to act
seen
now. You
I've
see
seen
me and
procurement.
say,
You said it earlier on.
Yeah.
Right, but
Somebody did
hold
say,
on. Make Roger finish up. Yeah.
I've seen procurements, something very urgent at an establishment, and within a couple of weeks, the thing is procured. You see me? And that is not even a emergency where people's lives are being lost. You see me? So let us not use this whole procurement takes a time. No, that's an excuse. The government look. Stop make
yeah,
excuses.
we
See?
not accept that. We not consent to that.
Same way
Exactly.
how him
Because
can
remember, you know,
find a way how
them
to get JPS
hold
to
on,
come in
hold on,
and
mention
fix
that.
it.
Even themselves, you know, has come and let the public know that because of their lack of action, they have to be exhuming bodies. So them action, you know, is also, you know, evidence, you know, to what we are saying. So them can't go beyond because we can say because of the lack of action, people have to take action. You can't have a
bro,
body a wait and say, yo,
let me tell you how
when
more
them
that
a go
is.
forward, when and police did came, and when police tell them, boy, we have to wait for certain things. So if people them feel go and watch your body.
Let me tell you how more that they handle this thing. Guys,
No light, no water.
let me tell you how Kaya should deal with this thing. I look like they don't know what to do. Let me tell them what to do. Because they don't know one backside where they do. Let me tell them what to do. First thing, you know, get the tent them, right? Get the tent them. You know, go and the man made the statement the other day. See them people in the worst affected areas. First we know say the tourism industry according to them gone, you know, they are no more. Right?
No mention
Some
tourism.
people,
We don't want to hear about
we are talking
tourism
about
for
the
long
people,
like
my
that.
people we are talking about. We're not
Yeah,
business
man.
about
We
that.
don't
The
want to hear
people
about
them.
them boy
Hold
because
on, man. Me
them
say
and
the
me making
individual,
profit
me and
over
no
here.
family, the
I mean,
individual them
general,
who did that
remember
work in
them
other
build a
sector there.
hospital, them build a full hospital in a 2 days, you know. You see how long we take for repair can one?
As me
The
say,
man them build a hospital with tent. We have everything we can while need with concrete. So me say then Ras, instead of we there try build with concrete, the better we build with tent and then we fold it up and move it in time of disaster and put it somewhere else.
then the man no mention that A76, like we say, if you
So we
know say
couldn't
something a
lose.
come
We
every
couldn't
year,
lose.
them people are some waste people. Me no know where them a get
2 days.
all of them money for. Where them a get paid for do? Let me tell you, them people are where do the job when at the position of government. Them not have. Oh gosh, this is so hurtful. Because
Well, the man them a
this are
play
worst thing about
politics,
this is,
man. We can't
and it
call it
just be
as a
alone
call a
accident something like
spade
that.
a
Sorry
spade,
them.
man. Them a play politics.
Parents and family. I know we alone I see this kind of incompetence, you know. Members say other people are see this, you know, other people are say, so is it true that they haven't done anything yet? Is it true that they haven't helped the people in Jamaica yet?
But
Why
them
haven't they
not fi
given them
ask.
water?
Them
Them
not fi
have
ask. The video them a float around all about.
all about 48
That man
hours, the
say,
man
man,
say
me I
it
wonder
too
if they don't know
dangerous.
other people are see these things, you know.
48 hours, you know, it too dangerous to send rescue for the people.
How long after I
But
need to do the interview?
you said
How
land
long after?
surveyor. You
Alright, so
all land surveyor reaching at this
The day
charted
after
areas.
survey down a Black River, a survey.
All
But
them reach down there and you can reach. Rescue team can reach.
oh, no down there
How?
survey land in a mud. in a knee-high mud on the down there
King
survey
and
land.
Turbulence. There
Me
were
say,
22 workers come before Melissa, and they just need clearance to do evacuation and stuff. Like 22 people volunteer come down a day before or 2 days before Melissa and volunteer. The only thing the government need to do is to give them the go ahead. Did they do that? No. They give some other 19 doctors from other country that access, that even not even rescue. They didn't even go in the danger
General,
zone. You understand?
then
So, you know,
we have not purposely built a city. So them at the bomb clock say then all of them city have NHT and them something have NHT have built. And not by purpose our dream. We have not purposely and Saint Elizabeth. Brother, that our farm capital, them grow every friggin' thing. Why St. Elizabeth? Why not Portmore? Portmore have a whole heap of land, you know. Bernard Lodge have a whole heap. A Bernard Lodge first, them they say the smart city figure. So how it reach St. Elizabeth?
because
And then
from
Beryl,
2009, this plan was about,
St. Elizabeth,
turbulence.
but it never do enough. Because
Turbulence.
after Beryl, St. Elizabeth recover too fast.
Turbulence. And
So why
I
Melissa
think
now
it's
going to
planned
see
from
spot where Beryl go?
2009, the 2030 vision of Jamaica. Remember,
You know
they
that
plan
me
to
and
come
Chris
out where they
speak
want
over
to build
that
a
man.
highway right around the country, while we did I say they want to cage us in and leave
My
the
bro,
potholes them in the
me talk about
regular roads.
2020. Me
Remember
talk about
those
something where the
time?
man saying in 2023. You see in 2023 the Prime Minister said, we have not purposely built a city.
Right.
So me want to know what I mean by purposely.
Somebody tell them
And
to
it
do
is
it.
so ironic why every new city these men speak of the world's most, where they
Farm
call it
grounds.
that now,
Farm
the
grounds.
world's
Fresh
most,
water.
the world's most reliable demolition force. Mother Nature,
Hey,
Maui,
let me say something.
California,
Let me say something, Tala.
St. Elizabeth. So you
Well,
see
and,
right now, any prime minister come or any president say them need a new city, you know, the people them for knowing it. You see, once them said new city, know them.
Lift up.
Get rid of them right there and then.
I'm gonna tell you
It
something.
is not of a coincidence because it's not a cow alone, it's an animal which we cattle and farm and rear in pen, you know. We have pigs too and fowl, you know. So on to pig incident and fowl incident and goat incident. Why everything for be a coincidence? Maui, new city, fire burn it.
Los Angeles. All them places.
Los Angeles, California. Now, we have not purposely built a new city, and St. Elizabeth is prime location for this.
And this will lead me to this notion or this idea. I'm going to tell me if I'm wrong. I think the government purposefully are dragging their feet. Right?
General,
Yeah.
them lock down St. Elizabeth, you know, we are on by genetically modified foods. So we will import. If them lock down St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, genetically cause St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary can't feed them struck the half of the bread basket. So you talk about even Jam and Manchester that. And the part of Manchester
Cornwall region produce
all
41%.
this time know which part we grow food. All this time know which part we grow the best yam.
And my people,
All right.
you see them question here. And this is what I want to ask yourself. So I see what I have noticed with Jamaican people pre-COVID, we never used to question much things. Right? We never used to question much things, and it was during and after COVID people start, hey, hang on there. I'm gonna start asking certain questions. I see this thing we call Melissa, what happened? A whole lot of people eyes open. See, people know quick to believe the government again. People start asking questions. And when I say, oh, believe every conspiracy theory you hear out there. But for you, you need to question things. You need to question everything. See, believe everything and nothing at the same time. That's how me run my thing. See, I question everything.
People use. Well, where we get it from, I use it. This whole conspiracy theory. Where we get that
Was
from?
created by the
Either true
CIA.
or a lie. No man, wait no.
By the CIA.
Either true. Yeah, listen. This
Conspiracy.
thing where them come borrow and come
All that
put
which
down,
is
we have to talk
considered
about
to be conspiracy in the
theory.
latter days
Listen,
now
what we
actually
do?
become truth.
We see some stuff happen, and we get to observe some things that some people say, and we realize that, some of them people that talk a beer crap that not make no sense.
But I know
Basically, and that
I know
we used to know. We look on them and see them attack, and like, say, I hear that thing that you say. That not make no
Yeah,
damn
man,
sense.
but I
We
know
just say a
we-
while ago,
So
we know say them a
let
lie.
me say something. Let me say something. You see, when we talk about general problems which affect a lot of people, it all come back around to what do we have structurally in place to handle these things? The question is,
Yeah.
can Jamaica or the government of Jamaica? Because again, the purpose and reason for government is to secure the people generally, right? So everybody now have to fend for themselves in an emergency or in disaster or in times of crisis or them something there. Generally speaking, if there was no Melissa, if there was no disaster, people are go about them private life. Them not really business about government. Right?
Just the same.
But now that Melissa is here, now that we have disasters, we have Beryl, we have Melissa, we have all these different hurricanes that have wreaked havoc, right? And yet still, some people are still coming with the mindset of, why would not depend on government? The point of depending on government for general disaster and problems of the people is because the government was put in place to handle these things. We gave the government the power to do these things, right? To handle
Put it in layman terms. I that them there for.
that them there for that are them job. Are we hire them enough? Are we hire them with force enough? Right. So I know a matter of where I go there, I beg them for this and I beg them for that. Are we give them the job for do what them supposed to do? So if them now do them job, what you do? You go to the enforcer, you go to the Supreme Court, and you say, here what go on. The mandate is there. And them now do them job. So either them get reprimanded or you put somebody else in charge to get this done.
Or be removed. Or remove him.
That up to the Supreme Court. Because as I said before, the law is the only thing we apply to everybody. It no matter if you have on a hat, if you're in an office, or if you're in your private space, the law applies to you the same.
Yes.
So you can't run from that.
Change and
How can you
once
go
we ask
about
for a
the
change,
Supreme Court
it simply
to
means removal.
voice
Because
our opinion?
we the people are not comfortable with the leadership in which we are under, or which we are
Right.
subdued to.
And the only way for us to voice that opinion is by taking action. And how do we take action?
Action.
We have to let the enforcers know. And the enforcer is what? In every part of society, it is the court who is the enforcer of the law, not the police.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Me learn
Not
that,
the
man.
GG.
Me learn that. Not even the Prime Minister, because him to have to answer to the judge.
All right. Because him can introduce things and the court can say, here we go on. That violate the constitution,
No.
it now go into effect. Null and void.
Nah, go work.
So
And
this
him have
is
to work.
why.
And if him go on like him too bad, the judge can say, here one of Mr. Prime Minister, remand him.
Exactly. Exactly. So, people, as I said before, the document is right here. It is going to be on voiceofjamaica.com. Unfortunately, I am out of time. So, look out for
Nah,
it.
man. We
Later.
are burning fire with you, man. Or you said, man, we are burning this a fire. You think you want to burn a fire? How you feel like?
No, man. I have some things we have to take care of right now, personally. So,
Yeah, man, but like me I say, we are burn a fire with
Respect,
you,
man.
man.
Respect.
A fire light.
Respect.
Cause real
You
thing me
know what way
general
forward
because
through, man. Let me say it
what come next year, you
clear.
know, we if them are gonna tell we if it brace the price increase and the price them, remember you know, $1,200 for a yam. You know, and tomato and all of them, yeah, and them are going them madness. So what more can they increase from the people
right.
when minimum wage don't move and yet the public sector wage don't move? Me don't know about the private sector, but me know for them wage not even move neither. So boy, we not blood clot if come next year, boy.
So, here we go. I'm going to try if we come back live tomorrow and Saturday so we can have a more complete discussion. We can bring some more things to the table. We can go over the document again. We can show the laws them that we are relying upon. Because again, what we say, lawful mandate. We not come here for just chat. We are bring the law
No.
on our side. So you can't say, I just we as the things and how we are come up with things. Zin?
See, like how you say that now, more you look into the act, when I tell you if you look about the act of that one where them call it trust. And the major trust of the people them. It is not a bank nor an investment company. It is a trust governed under a trust act.
Yeah, man. Definitely
Yes,
will
read
check
that
it out.
for the people them.
So, big up on yourself, peeps. Thank you again for joining the live. Again, the live is going to be available on voiceofjamaica.com so you can rewatch the live if you missed sections or portions of it from earlier. And I will put up another notification so you know when we'll be going back live. Zin? So, big up on yourself.
Yeah, man.
Lawful. Always.